Well, hello, bon après-midi, and welcome back to Loillac in France. This is round 8 of the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship, and if you've just joined us and you missed the earlier live stream of qualifying 1, don't panic, we'll talk you through everything that happened. But this is the most open championship we've ever seen in World Rallycross, and everyone is very close here this weekend. Before we get into the action, on this live stream you'll see RX2 Q2, Euro RX Q2, World RX Q2, and then RX2 Q3. So the next 2 hours is pretty much sorted. Let's go in here though, because before we show you the highlights of Q1, there's a main talking point was an incident between Anton Markland and Andreas Backrud, which left Andreas Backrud quite unhappy. Let's hear this side of the story from Anton himself. Anton, first of all, great to see you driving out here, and what a big weekend it is for the French team. You feeling the pressure?
No, I think not at all. I didn't feel it, especially on the free practice. We were really quick. We were on the top of all 3 practices, and we were P2 on the end, so the pace is really good. So can't wait to get the season going, or the weekend going, of course.
We can see there are a few battle scars on the Megane. Yeah. Now, if we have a look, you can see where contact has been. Now, we're going to show you the incident in your qualifying race, which Andreas Backrud was like angry with you, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was a bit angry. Brake checked me a couple of times going into the paddock, and obviously it's a lot of adrenaline. I don't think it was nice what he did there, but it's a lot of adrenaline involved. Now we see the start, and here, when you're half a car length ahead, you don't know that you have somebody inside, and okay, he made the risk to go on the inside of me in turn 2. And if you take the risk, then you should also be willing to take the pain that it can give you, and also the victory that it can give you. Then, of course, in the Joker merge, I was maybe a bit too kind. I was leaving plenty of space for both him and Baumanis, so there I was maybe a bit too kind. Maybe need to be a bit more aggressive next time. But obviously, like you can see, it's a lot of adrenaline in his body, and I think when you have seen the replays as well, he's not as aggressive, let's say, because I think all of us understands that's rallycross, and it was a fair fight.
Yeah, and of course you've got more than half a car length ahead, but also you can't see necessarily who's right there.
No, I mean, what you can see from here is that you have his front wheel was touching here on the end of the door, and then you have to think about then the bonnet is going like that, and then we have the roof going here, so it's more or less impossible to see him from, or it is impossible to see him from the window, and then it's no time to look in the mirrors, to be honest. In rallycross you don't have the time for that.
So just as we've got a little bit of time for the car to be prepped for your Q2, what's the mindset going into Q2? Because this is a big weekend for the team.
Yeah, obviously, but I feel I don't need to stress. We have a P13 now, which isn't perfect. But still, to be honest, when you see the lap times we put down on free practice, and as well we were able to put in when we had clear track on Q1, I'm not so stressed. It's just that we need to get the car going in the start. We need a good launch off the line, which seems to be a struggle today. Hopefully we can manage that for Q2 and have a clean race, and I think we will be back on the top where we should be.
Very good. Well, we wish you well. Thank you very much, Anton.
Thank you very much.
Have a good race. So we're nearly ready to go racing for RX2 qualifying 2, which should mean that we have Andrew Coley and Dan Rook up in the commentary booth.
We do indeed. We've had time for a quick tea, and that's about it. I'd run down to the TV truck and have a look at some of the replays and things. I think Andreas had calmed down fairly by the, kind of think the whole thing about the tyre bail. I don't know if that was a diversionary thing or what. He's obviously wound up. We get that. He's in a World Championship fight. Anton's looked at it. I think it's a bit of a nothing, the 2 incidents.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody knows that you're always looking for something to blame, aren't you? I mean, it's not just a racing driver thing. I think it's everybody across the board.
It's a life thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
If something doesn't go your way, you're kind of like, well, what went wrong?
Yeah.
So something went wrong. Sometimes you have to go, I went wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And it's difficult to do that. And I think, obviously, he started off blaming Markland, and then he was sort of firing at the FIA as well and things like that. But I'm sure, hopefully, by the time he comes lining up for Q2, he would have calmed down.
Okay, cool. Maybe the FIA will give him a call about his interview. I'm kind of, okay, there's a tyre bell on the inside of turn 2. He's not over the moon about it. Difference of opinion with the FIA. Let's see. I just want to see some good racing. So, yeah, calm down, everyone. It's only Q1. Let's take a look back at what happened. So this was off the line, the very first race. Shisha, it was left on the line. Unfortunately, Bennett managed to get down to turn 1 ahead. But as you can see, by the end of the race, the overlap had gone the other way, and it was Paye who managed to take the first checkered flag of the day. Race 2 on board with Timur Zyanov down towards the first corner. Timur turns in, but on his inside, Cyril Raymond, and you'll see that from the outside now. Timur out into the gravel trap, then turning into the left, manages to hold his position. And in fact, that was where the Russian would stay. Didn't work out for Cyril Raymond trying to fight his way back, even though it was only a 3-car race. Timur takes the flag. Kevin Hansen on the outside, really hoping to be able to make a move across the inside. You can see Sabo, he checks up early, tries to go all the way to the inside. Great tactics. In theory, he's up in P3, but look, Sabo's there and Batshuzka's there as well. Kevin Hansen down in 5th at the start, fought his way through, got past here Herb Napping. Napping ended up in the gravel. He did finish the race. He was a lap down, though, so he gets a DNF. They joked it on the last lap. We hadn't seen a lot of this man. Topi Heikkinen out front, absolutely destroying the timesheets. Batshuzka slots into P2. Topi goes top with a very quick time indeed. Andreas Backerud, and we've just spoken to Anton. Have a look at this. Scheider's to his right, bit of contact with Scheider. Pastman's actually hit him already too. He now comes up to turn 2. Markman can't see him. Markman turns in. Andreas has to avoid those tyres on the inside. That's why he was crossed to the FIA, because he had to back out of it. Him and Baumann is set about chasing down the 2 out front. Markman at the merge. Good move here by Backerud, managing to go through with Baumanis. He gets into Baumanis. Also then Markman maybe into him. Scheider took it. He wasn't fast enough to depose Topi at that point. Cue then all the shenanigans after the race. Timmy Hansen, Liam Doran giving everyone room on the inside. Gronom managed to get the whole shot. He led for the first lap. Doran dropped back. Hansen got up through the inside of Derrida. Farazkian had to back out of it to avoid the tyres. Gronom, you could see, was quite sideways. Traction here makes a big difference. Watch Timmy Hansen on the exit of the last corner, straightens the car up early and takes the place off Gronholm. So Hansen was on a flyer. It wasn't quite enough. Did he cook the tyres? He said this place is very hard on tyres. He was expecting to see tyre tactics through the course of the weekend. He took the flag, but not the fastest time. Topi Heikkinen wins Q1, his first session in World RX for a long time in a brand new car, the GRX Hyundai i20. Timmy Hansen second, Scheider third, Timur Zyanov fourth, Batshuzka, Gronom, Baumanis, Sabo, your top 8. Backward and Kevin Hansen are in, but they're a long way down. Paye and Raymond in, also for the French at home. Mark and Derrida, Bennett, Jonathan Paye, and a bunch of others behind need good results if they want to make it through to the semi-finals tomorrow. So not loads of carnage, but plenty of people down there. People like Shisharit and Doran, who we know can do quick lap times and didn't get the job done. Interesting, Markman's like, look, I'm in P13, no stress.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's outside of the cut, isn't he, at the moment? But he's saying no stress. I guess now he's in one of the slightly slower races where he's going to be hoping to get off the line and from there maybe have a clean run. But like you say, Doran as well, Shisharit, they didn't get the best of starts in their Q1 races, and that made them drop back. So unlucky for them, but they should hopefully be able to make it up in Q2. 3
sessions still to go in qualifying here. Of course, we've got Q2 today. Some of the classes like RX2 are doing Q3. Then tomorrow morning on a damp track, remember at the end of this session, we'll find out whether or not the World RX grids get flipped or not. They are flipped for this one, so stay with us. We're going RX2, Euro RX World with the fastest cars first. Back to RX2 for Q3. Talking of RX2, we've got some cars down the line, so let's go. 3 cars in this one. It's Albert Levera, Lane Vakala, and Jan Lejosek. Now, Jan Lejosek didn't make it out in the first session, running for Fahren this weekend. For whatever reason, that car wasn't ready to go. Lane Vakala is, as we mentioned earlier, coming across from ARX2. He's only done 1 race in Canada. Great kart driver, as in go-karts. And I believe he's coming to South Africa as well. So Lane's up against it because he's having to learn here. Like Fraser McConnell's a good example. Someone who did ARX2 last year and was pretty good at it, then came here this year and was like, okay, wow, the level's really high. And it is. And Lane Vakala's come here for his second RX2 race, Dan. You know, that's, I think, quite a big ask. He's got a good start this time, but Levera's inside him. He's going to get squeezed in turn 1. Go on, get stuck in. Don't get too stuck in, don't want to end up in the steward's room. But yeah, it's a big ask to come to this level when you're still learning rallycross.
Yeah, it is very hard. And I mean, the difference between him and Fraser is Fraser was a rally driver beforehand, so he had the whole rally driving thing behind him, whereas gravel loose, yeah, exactly, and actually being in a car. Lane coming from a go-kart or tarmac, you know, you don't have to, I mean, I'm not sure what class he was in, but presumably you didn't have to worry about gear changes, you know, rolling starts, everything like that. So there is so much different from go-karting to rallycross now, that he really is in at the deep end. And his first event in Canada in ARX2, we saw him improve through the whole weekend and pick up more and more speed. And it was on a track that wouldn't necessarily suit him. The gravel section there is very thick and you have to throw the car around, but you're at the track like this one now where everything is kind of compact and you have to drive the car like a go-kart. This is going to be a bit more to his advantage.
Yeah, hopefully continues that learning curve. Interesting, I was saying when I spoke to him yesterday, you know when someone struggles on their first event, it can be a bit like, oof, I'm not sure about this, but he was absolutely loving it. And a little bit like Alex Burtz, you know, came across to Supercar. We know he's a legendary driver. He's a like, top factory driver in endurance racing, and then comes here and he's like, oh, I can't do it. And they like it. It's not like, oh, I can't do it. They like it because suddenly they're up against it again, and they haven't been up against it on the learning curve for a long time. Now, obviously, Lane Michaela's not like Alex Burtz, like he's a factory driver somewhere else, but he is coming from a different discipline. I just think there's something fun as Liosek gets past Lavera at the merger with 1 lap to go. You can hear a cheer from the crowd. You know, I think people enjoy the learning curve.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, unless you were someone in school who didn't enjoy learning, I know I was one of them, but when it's a subject that you enjoy,
this is not
school. Yeah, so this is something you enjoy. So trying to learn as much as you can about it is, you know, it is great fun to be like a sponge and absorb a lot more and not be expected to be the expert, whereas in his previous field he was. Yeah. So the pressure is off when you come into something like this.
Yeah, kind of enjoy it. You know, get out there, send it, enjoy it. Have a look at the end of the weekend. Go, look, okay, I didn't make the semis. I was P15, but this can be improved on. That can be improved on. I think it's only disappointing because Liosek takes it when you have a bad result and you look at everything and you don't think there's anything to improve on. Then you're like, okay, I don't know if I'm good enough. You know, but at this stage in Lane Michaela's short rallycross career, he's continuing the learning curve. Liosek gets a decent time, 2:41.6, but we need to compare that to the previous session, 2:38.2. That would have seen him in 11th place last time, but Ericsson was a 2:38.2, so Ericsson would have been, you know, 3.5 odd seconds quicker. So Liosek, having missed a session, not ideal. Having said that, there's only 16 cars in RX2. 12 go through, so you're kind of hoping, look at that, the crowd's filled up even more. You're hoping, or certainly if you're Liosek, you're hoping that there's going to be a few retirements through the remaining sessions. Liosek takes it from Lavera and Michaela. Take a look back at the start. Michaela actually got away well. I said earlier he's learnt now to get it up to the fight point and hold it, and that's interesting what you were saying, Dan. It hadn't even occurred to me that he hasn't done race starts with a clutch even.
No, so, you know,
to me that was obvious. I thought, well, why hasn't he thought of that? But he hadn't.
Yeah, I mean, unless he was racing a go-kart with a clutch, obviously it's just push the throttle and go. So it's, again, something new for him.
Completely. It's... you know, it's easy to forget as well that a lot of people in the States drive auto. Now, obviously, as a race car driver, in theory, you're used to manual, but when you're a race car driver only having done go-karting, you maybe haven't even come across that. At least he's not dealing with H-pattern. So, great to have some new drivers in this. And on this occasion, it is Liosek who has taken the win.
Yeah, and the crowd really enjoyed that. It must be nice to get a heat win here in France.
Yeah. It was really necessary for after, because really the Q1 was really...
What happened in Q1?
The start doesn't start because of electric problem, like every...
So this is the comeback now?
Yeah, my weekend is beginning now.
Well done, good job. Merci.
Thank you.
Still all smiles, good to see. Yeah, electrical thing, you know, but the race car, basically. Horrible electrical faults, you know, perfectly okay yesterday. Probably even did some free practice this morning or this afternoon, won't start. Makes you livid. There's nothing worse, is there, than a horrible electrical fault. I'd far rather have you break a drive shaft, lovely, let's change the drive shaft. Electrical fault is like, oh, you're having a laugh.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very hard problem to chase.
Three cars in this one. Volders on the inside, Michalak and Narsha. Talk a bit about Petter Narsha in this one. Very even start across these three. Michalak getting the shifting right on the run to turn one. Narsha going to try and go around the outside. Volders on the inside. Narsha should pick up P2 here. Does. So it's Michalak from Narsha. So Narsha, another new driver. Down to say RX2 still attracting new drivers. I think we've got a test here. Is there a test here on Monday?
Test on the Monday, yeah, to try and get some new drivers interested in RX2.
We've got another test, the same over for ARX after the final round at Mid-Ohio. So if you're stateside and you're interested in driving an ARX2 car, there's an open test there. They've had these tests before, haven't they? They do them in Sweden sometimes. I think you've been to one of them when you were getting into whether or not you might want to do RX2.
Yeah, I mean, my test was giving some media rides around Barcelona, so it wasn't one of the ones where you can come and sit beside one of the Ericssons, for example, but they gave me the opportunity to drive the car on some media laps and try and get a little bit into it there, so that was kind of my opener. But yeah, they are running a test session on the Monday. I'm not sure what the spaces are like, but yeah, trying to get more people engaged. And I know there's a lot of French drivers looking to get into RX2 following on Cyril Ramon's success in the class. So yeah, it's good to see a lot of people coming in and getting stuck in with it.
Narsha's joke, and so's Volders, and Narsha's have dropped back. So Narsha is an X Games gold medalist at snowmobile cross. So think motocross with a snowmobile. Having it on a big heavy machine with a rotating belt on the back of it and just the savagery. It's like, I don't know, wild.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, you wouldn't find me in one, that's for sure.
No, I mean, he said yesterday, I feel safe in the car. He's like, with a roll cage around us. It's interesting. I always think guys who come from a bike racing background to cars. You see Volders, in fact, he's got Michalak as well. So this is a great drive by Steve Volders. Another lap to go. You come from bikes to cars and you always feel that bit more protected.
Yeah, it's that element of you're not out in the wind, and if you make a mistake, at least you're surrounded by a steel roll cage rather than being flung across a field, for example.
Particularly when you make a mistake in a pack. I always think you see someone fall off a bike, it's horrible. The falling off in a controlled race environment isn't so bad. It's what happens after you fall off, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Narsha doesn't have that to worry about here. He's been doing some Nordic rallycross races. This is his RX2 debut, stepping up to the international level. I think it's fair to say RX2 supporting the World Championship is the pinnacle of the support class. Volders crosses the line to take the win, and then over in the States, ARX2, same cars, a little bit louder. They have different silencers over there, but other than that, the spec's the same. We've seen good tradition of Americans crossing the pond to come and join us here. Connor Martell, Cole Keats,
Tanner Whitten.
Yeah, we've had some good drivers come across and had a crack over here. And now Fraser McConnell, of course, from Jamaica. So it always attracts quite an international feel, as well as, of course, as plenty of Scandinavians. Good job then by Volders. Came from the touring car category, 2-litre rear-wheel drive. I'm sure he won a race in Belgium in that category at home. I'm sure he did. Volders takes it from Michalak and Narsha. 240.7 is enough to go top. Very close look between Michalak and Liosek, but almost a second clear for Volders out front. Pretty even start. Narsha was able to get around the outside here. Michalak sort of being brave. I don't think Narsha would know to be brave from slot number 3, too far out.
Yeah, too far out, and he would have struggled to get across. It was an even start, so for him to try and hang it around the outside, it would have been extremely difficult.
Michalak through the Joker, popping the curbs. Volders, though, getting him at the Joker lap. So Steve Volders, the winner, and he is with Neil Cole now.
Steve, it looked like a good race, great Joker strategy. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it was nice. The start was not so good. I was a pole, but I cannot hold it with me. But then with the Joker, I can. It's very nice here.
Well done, it's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
grid for the next one. Nikolai Gryazin on the inside, Damien Mounier next to him, Vasily Gryazin in the middle. Vasily, of course, a driver you'll be used to if you're a regular viewer. Nikolai Gryazin currently leading WRC2, so a great peddler, and beat his brother Vasily in the last one. William Nilsson, slot 4, being run by Farren, and Simon Olofsson in slot number 5.
Nice of the SRT boys to give us some yellow flashes to try and identify the cars.
Yeah, that's not ideal, but it's okay. The roof's yellow. We can deal with that, rookie, can't we?
Yeah, I think we can.
It's the front shot which kills us. Subaru have been doing their best to make it extremely difficult over in America. I've noticed there's more and more colour appearing on the cars. I think it's quite hard for the spotters to tell the difference as well. So Nikolai Gryazin on the inside, Vasily Gryazin in the middle. Oh, nearly a jump start for Nilsson, gets away. But Nikolai Gryazin contact Nilsson and Olofsson go round, and Nikolai Gryazin going to get the whole shot as a result of that. Olofsson gets away. Wasn't sure if the car was damaged though, it looked to be crabbing a bit, but he goes through turn 2 okay in the background as you can see. Not ideal for Nilsson. So Nilsson was, where was he?
P9.
Ninth, yeah, he's 9th after the previous session. And that's not going to help. But it's, yeah, okay, it's not a terrible disaster. A DNS is a much worse disaster, isn't it, than a slow time, but still, you just want 4. At worst, you want 4 average heats, don't you? You have one bad one, and that's all you can think about.
Yeah, it just plays on your mind, and especially at this track, it's so easy to be caught out in the first couple corners, but now he needs to, not let the red mist get to him. It's so easy, especially as a driver, that at this point where you've had a bad run or a bad start, that it can really play on your mind the rest of the race. You think, oh, got to make up time. You push too hard, you make mistakes everywhere, and ultimately you're slower even though you think you're going faster.
With turns 1 and 2 being, I think a lottery's a bit of a stretch, but it can be a bit. What's the right attitude to take when you've got a risky turn 1 and 2? We've got quite a few tracks which are like that. Yeah, if you stay safe in turn 1 and 2, you're maybe not going to be a superhero, but you're also not going to have a disaster. But I suppose if you want TQ, you've got to go superhero, haven't you? Or is it all more controlled than that? Because you look at someone like Johan, it was he never felt like he was taking massive risks. He was just getting everything right.
Yeah, I think it's never worth a risk, especially in a qualifying race, to be trying to bomb it around the outside and then be dropped in the gravel. I mean, maybe in something like a semi-final where it's really on the line.
So superhero mode for semis, basically, and kind of, safe mode.
Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. Of course, I'm sure everyone has got their own.
But I think tactically it's the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it is to play it safe, get yourself into the all-important semi-finals, and from there you become, the superhero and try and get yourself up to the front.
Talking of the front, Nikolai Gryazin, lap times 38.1 consistently, 0.4 of a second quicker than Liosek was. Everybody joking. Nikolai Gryazin going to take it. It's a great performance. 2:39.0, so they're about 10 seconds off the pace of the world cars. And that's going to be enough to go top with 1 race to go. So Nikolai Gryazin, who after the first session was in 6th, I think looking pretty favourite for more rallycross. I wonder if he'd do more. I mean, obviously, if he's winning WRC2, he's at a stage in his rally career where I think that's going to be the primary focus. Is this a bit of fun, or is it a potential change of direction? Seen all sorts of rumours recently about people who are looking at coming to do rallycross. So Nikolai Gryazin takes it from Vasily Gryazin, Simon Olofsson, Damien Mounier, William Nilsson. Olofsson actually did well to get past Mounier after the first corner. Nikolai and Vasily go to P1 and P3. So Nikolai on the inside with the whole shot. Looking at the outside, does Nilsson? I think Nilsson just turns in across Vasily, doesn't he, unfortunately?
Yeah, both him and Olofsson went for the around the outside move, and they just get tagged. I think maybe if
Olofsson might have got away with it. I think if Nilsson hadn't been tagged, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it could have happened. I think maybe he would have gone 2 wheels into the gravel, but unfortunately Nilsson was there, and the contact happened, and it put him backwards.
Really committed, Nikolai Gryzin on the turn, and I have to say I'm impressed with the way he's handling this car. So we knew he was a great driver, but he's doing a fantastic job of getting his head around a completely different piece of machinery. The WRC2 Championship leader is currently leading Q2.
Nikolai, only your second rallycross event, and it looks like it suits you. You're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's getting better with each run. It's our first time on this track, and so without tests, without anything, we're just trying to improve setup and also driving. So now it feels a little bit better. It's I feel like we are in a correct way with the setup. So I think maybe we'll not change too much. Try to improve just some places in the driving. So it's quite good. The start was okay. I was not lose a lot. So some contacts on the first corner, but it was easy. So car, I think, is quite good with no damages. But anyway, we will check it. So enjoying it. We'll see how our other guys from the first group will drive, because they are pretty fast, and they will check.
And you don't need a co-driver. It's brilliant.
Yeah, just in the spotter can say me which corner it is, but I remember.
Thank you. Well done.
Co-drivers adding 100 kilos to a car for a long time. Go with a spotter, you can save 100 kilos. Unfortunately, a spotter can't help you through a 38-kilometre stage in, Resolve Main in Wales, but there you go.
Maybe if they're in a helicopter.
Well, yeah. That's slightly adding to the budget there, I think, Rookie. But and I suspect there's something in the rules about ditching your co-driver to a helicopter. But I mean, it's an innovative idea. Final race of Q2 for RX2, Oliver Eriksson, Sami Mäki-Trogen, Kallio, McConnell and Gunderson. This should be good. Very even start. No one ahead. Eriksson on the inside, edging it on the run to turn one. Kallio trying to go deep. McConnell's backed off and gone inside, going to try and go outside now. Contact, I think, in between Trogen and Kallio. McConnell's lost that spot now. Gunderson's got past as well. McConnell up the inside of Gunderson into the hairpin. Goes Joker, oozing on with Sami Mäki-Trogen. So Sami Mäki-Trogen and Fraser McConnell go Joker.
Fraser McConnell's got damage to his rear left there. I can see the wheel is slightly bent out of position, so maybe from all that running down into turn 3 up against Ben Gunderson, but you can see he's dropped all the way back from Trogen already, just from 2 corners, so that's really not going to be playing into his hands.
Fraser coming, yeah, the rear left is facing out, isn't it? He's got a huge toe out on the rear left, so it's going to turn in nicely in a few places, but probably not in nicely.
No, you can see here he's really fighting the car to try and even get it turned in at all, so he's going to be going down the straight sideways.
Well, he might win the award for going the most sideways for the longest time. The other thing, of course, Dan, is that not all the parts will hold on for that long in that condition. Yeah, you've got a drive shaft at strange angles, tyres running down the road sideways. Yeah. Damage limitation now for Fraser. Out front, Eriksson leading from Kallio. But Sami Mäki-Trogen is on the back of this pack already. So Sami Mäki is 2.6 off the leader, but he's only 1.4 off Kallio in P2. So there's Kallio looking P2. Then it's Gunderson, Sami Mäki-Trogen at the back. And they're keeping Kallio out. They don't really have any option because Trogen is chasing them down. 0.7, okay, it's gone up a tiny bit, but okay, it's going up to Eriksson, but the gap's actually between Kallio and Trogen is staying the same, so it's 1.4 between Kallio in P2 and Trogen in P4. Going to be close between them, and as I say that, Trogen makes a mistake in the second to last corner, on the gas too early and a bit too sideways. No mistakes from Eriksson.
Eriksson's lap time, I'm just watching the time screen light up. He went for a 38.6 off the standing start first lap, a 37.9 lap 2, 37.8 lap 3, and he is the only driver to have dipped into the 37s in this class.
Yeah, he's a weapon, no doubt. Through the chicane, just looks so comfortable. Sami Mäki-Trogen trying to get Kallio and Gunderson. Kallio's managed to hold on, he has, but Sami Mäki-Trogen gets Gunderson at the merge. But Ollie Eriksson's going to take it, and he takes the session comfortably. 1.4 seconds faster. Oliver Eriksson has won 2 from 2, and he's looking good to extend his points lead. Fraser McConnell comes across the line after damage from lap 1. Eriksson had 14-point lead coming in here. Got 1 round left at South Africa after this.
Nikolai Gryzin's gone in P2 for the session.
Wow, so Nikolai Gryzin right up there, completely defying his lack of rallycross experience. I mean, of course, the thing is, if you're hammering in quick laps, this take nothing away from him, that's fine. It's probably the racecraft, isn't it? It's things like the semi-finals which will be harder. But he's still got to get it done. He's got to get the start right to be able to do the rally-style laps. And not only that, he's not super sideways, he's keeping it tidy. Not as tidy as Oliver Eriksson. 237.6, Kallio, Trojan, Gunderson, P2, 3, 4. Fraser McConnell with a damaged car is going to drop off that top screen. So top 4 slot into the top 5. Nikolai Gryzin holds on to second. Super even start, Dan, because these guys are all in these cars all the while and they know how to get it done.
Yeah, so they'll be studying their start procedure, making sure they get everything correct, and that's why they're level into turn 1, because they'll be the perfectionists. I think here is where we saw the damage to Fraser's car. Yeah, you can see the wheel's already gone there, and he's trying to go up the inside of Gunderson, but...
It's turn 2, isn't it, where the contact was?
Yeah, so wheel to wheel with Gunderson, and it was McConnell's car that broke in the incident.
There it is, look, you can see that rear left. You shouldn't be able to see the rim from there, and it shouldn't be going down the road at that angle. Oliver Eriksson, no problems at all. We will do some maths tonight and figure out who's on for a sneaky championship with a round to go. It's going to come down to later in the weekend, though, whether or not anybody doesn't make it through to the semis.
Oliver, that looked like the near-perfect race. How was it for you?
That was really good. I had a lightning reaction in the start, so I already got ahead there, could do my clean inside, and from there just do my own thing, and it just felt so good. The car it's on rails, so yeah, no complaints at all.
Well done. See you later.
Thank you.
Standings after Q2. Oliver Eriksson wins both sessions to be at the top. Sami-Matti Trojan look with, what's that, a P2 and a P4, I think. He's in second. Jesse Kallio with 2 P3s is in third. Gryzin Nikolai moves up to fourth. Ben Philip Gunderson is in fifth. Vasily Gryzin is in sixth. Steve Folder seventh. Fraser McConnell drops to eighth. That's not too bad considering the damage. Anders Michalak and Damien Mounier 9th and 10th. Simon Olofsson and Albert Levera currently just inside. Petter Narschler, William Nilsson and everybody else behind. Going to have to work hard to try and get a spot in the semi-finals. Pretty safe stuff, those top guys through the first corner there. You could see Fraser backing out of it, a bit of rallycross maturity coming, trying to find a way through, didn't work out. Not too much carnage. Got Euro RX coming up next. Do you think they'll keep it sensible?
No, probably not.
Vote at home. Do you want them to keep it sensible? Probably not, do we? So, but yeah, Euro Supercar next. Then, of course, we've got World Supercar. Dan, track conditions. I mean, they don't have to do any track maintenance here. You know, at the start of the weekend, I think the dirt is fairly well spread out, and during the course, they might do a bit tonight. But I don't think there's anything going to happen for the rest of the day, personally, not in these conditions.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real dust flying up at all, is there? And we're not seeing any holes develop out there as of yet. So, I mean, maybe by the time we've got all of the qualifying sessions through and done with, we might start to see something dig up. But for the meantime, I don't think there's anything to do.
We can hear supercars pulling up to the line, so we're going to get down there and get Euro RX Q2 underway. Of supercar, somebody there with their anti-lag somewhat advanced, I would say. That doesn't sound quite right, does it? Is that might be Flaherty, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't want to leave that one running. He runs the risk of melting the turbocharger if you leave that just sat going.
So Pascal Lambeck, Mark Flaherty and Emmanuel Galivel. We can't hear which car it is, obviously, that's making the noise, but that's not how it's supposed to sound at tick over, is it? So something jacked open on the throttle. Well, let's see how long it lasts. It's already sounding to me like it's not going to last much longer, whichever car it is. They'll be hoping for a thumbs up from the marshal. Now we get the high revs. Either that was super long or there was a jump right at the end there. So we're saying Flaherty jump, so maybe Flatty edged in the middle. We weren't sure which of the cars it was. What do they do, Dan? Leave the anti-lag on, do you think? I mean, in the run, and I don't know. What are you thinking?
No, you've got to turn the anti-lag off as soon as something like this happens. You know, you don't know how long the delay is and so on and so forth. And as I was saying a minute ago, you don't want to leave anti-lag running. You know, I've heard of turbochargers, you know, literally melting in the past. We see a replay.
I mean, you don't see Flaherty set it off, to be fair. I mean, they've got jump start sensors. We took a close look at it this morning. We did a Facebook Live from the pre-grid this morning. If you go towards the end of that Facebook Live, you're feeling in full geek mode. The last couple of minutes we were still at the start line and we had a really close look at the jump start sensors, how the little boards, the marshals hold up work, what the jump start sensors do. So if you're a full RX geek, go and have a look at the last couple of minutes of that video. Come on lads, get away safely. It's another ridiculously long hold, isn't it? That is about as long as it gets. So that's hard work for these cars. It's a random gap between 2 and 7, isn't it? I think so. There's a 5-second window in the middle.
Yeah.
Taking the wheel straight off down the brakes. Boom. And it was that car.
Yeah.
So it was Flaherty's car at the start line, then parked in front of our camera so we could identify which one it was. Lambert, it was, right, okay, top of your screen, look, Galivel was the guy who jumped the start. I thought so. To be fair to Flatty, we thought he hadn't jumped the start, and we were right. So it was Galivel who jumped the start. Flatty's not going to finish. Lambert leading this one, but I have to be honest, Dan, I don't think these guys are going to trouble the top times of the Euro runners. Let's have a look down the list and see who was doing what in the previous session. So Larson won the last session from Munich and Karai. They went progressively quicker late in the session. Brinderson went quick early in the session, didn't he? We think the track was still developing. Dubourg was relatively earlier as well. Antoine Mas and Predeborg. Sondra Evgen was on a bit of a flyer. Boulio, Ekelin, August and Sarazan were your top 12 coming into this. Mark's still sitting in the car.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe he's got something wrong with the ALS or the throttle, because
that would push him on.
Would have pushed him on, yeah. And we can still hear the car there running quite high RPM.
Yeah, we can hear it every time we cut to camera 3, can't we? I think it may be 4 down at the hairpin. Talk us through ALS, Dan, anti-lag system. Basically, obviously, old cars had turbochargers, and when you booted it, it took ages for the turbo to kick in. Hence the Group B Audi, everyone was gunning the throttle a second before they wanted it. Now, ALS has taken that away, so that's what anti-lag is for. But what does it feel like when it's pushing you on in a corner? Because I think it's quite hard for people to understand at home that something that's there to assist you in driving can make the car difficult at some points.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult in conditions, say, like the wet, but when it's in the dry, it actually makes the car a lot more drivable because it's much more predictable. But when you come into a corner with your anti-lag running, it's, you know, you've still got your turbocharger spinning, so it's still trying to force, you know, air into the engine, and it kind of makes you run on a little bit, and you have to, you know, brake a bit harder compared to if you don't have it on. But also it means that when you come to go out the corner, you've got instant power instead of having to wait for the turbo to pick up and then you get a snap of power if you don't have it on.
That one goes to Lombeck. We're going to have a little delay now while Mark Flaherty's car is dug out the gravel at the far end. I'm sure we can take some questions on social media if you guys are up for that. Bear in mind, we're not sitting looking at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, but we've got a man who is. Tierney. So give him a shout. Pascal Lambeck winning from Galivel, Flatty at DNF, O'Donnell at DNS, so Ollie's had a shocker. Missed British Rallycross last weekend. He's withdrawn from that series for this year and was going to come and have some fun here in Euro, but for whatever reason, it hasn't gone his way. So yeah, send your questions in. I don't know what we were discussing before. Are there any subjects? Don't ask us who our favourite driver is. We're not going to do that. And we're not going to tell you who we think is going to win the World Championship. You know, we're impartial. Except when there's a good story. We love a good story. Sebastian Eriksson, Timothy Mazjanov. I love a good story. Backwards win after 981. First wins out. 6 winners in 7 events. We've had new winners this year. We've had a bit of controversy with some decision making from stewards and things. So, send us your thoughts. If it was raining, I'd say wear a chair. We've got a graphic for that now, wear a chair. No messing about. Neil Cole is with Lambeck, so we're going to hear from him now. And hopefully we're hearing from some of you guys.
Pascal, very good job. How was it for you?
Moi, je suis très content de moi. Bon, j'ai toujours un peu d'appréhension parce que moi, je roule pas beaucoup, j'ai pas beaucoup roulé avec la voiture. Et puis ça va, plus dans la journée, je sens que ça va de mieux en mieux, donc voilà, c'est bien. Et puis il y a des gens qui m'encouragent, qui m'applaudissent, tout, qui me font signe, c'est bien. Merci pour Loiac, merci beaucoup.
Bon courage. I'll just give you a quick
Okay, well, apologies for that. Just a slight technical issue. We're looking down, Mark Flaherty down at turn 3. Getting out of the car now. I'd have been out of that earlier. It's hot. It's actually gone up. It's gone up to 25 degrees C from 21. So it's actually 4 degrees hotter, and it's got quite sticky here. It's quite humid. So Flaherty out of the car, waves to the crowd. Neil Cole is going to give us a translation.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that what Pascal was just saying is that he's had very little time in the car, but every time he gets in it, he gets better and better. But the main thing that's powering him on is the support of all the French fans here, and he was just wanting to thank the organisers of Loiac Rallycross, #LoiacRX. He didn't say that bit, I said that bit. That's my rough French translation of our Q2 Race 1 winner, Pascal Lambeck.
Neil Cole, adding hashtags to your life since 16:07 this afternoon, local time. Plus or minus however many hours, wherever you are. There we go, look, forklift up, truck underneath, bish, bosh, bash, off to the tent. Look at that, nicely done. To be fair, that's great work on the recovery. These guys are pros, they've been in the World Championship right from the start. There are ways to get cars up and onto trailers and things, and that's a good one. Marshals are sweeping the loose away. And when I say the loose, I mean the gravel trap.
I believe the Fiesta was actually out racing on Monday at the British Rallycross. Mark's Fiesta was being driven by Ollie Bennett in the British Championship, and I don't know what happened, but I don't think he actually made it to the final through technical issues.
So, yeah, hard work for Ollie Bennett's team this week. Doing a bunch of work on the cars. Well, I was trying to look for some of your mentions on social media, but we've got so many people here. You have to bear in mind, this little village has 300 people in it normally. And it's got, this weekend, it'll have 75,000 will come through the area. So at any time, there's about 40,000 people here. And I'm afraid the one mobile phone mast falls down. So I say, give the official accounts a shout, and they can push some stuff onto us, hopefully. Attila Moser, Paulis Pleskovas, and Stefan de Ganay in this one. Okay, so somebody has asked, what's it like to follow a series since the start and be recognised as the voice of Rallycross? That's a really kind question, thank you very much. Ask Dan Rook, my producer says. Thanks, Richie. Hey, do you know what? It's very kind of you guys to call me that. I've never said that because I think it would be presumptuous of me, but I put a post up this morning. Actually, I had one of my little moments this morning where I was wandering around thinking how lucky I was to follow such a brilliant championship. We've been down, stood literally next to where the cars take off, and I'm aware of the incredible access that I've had to this series right from the start. I started with IMG in 2013 when it was a European Championship, and it was a 3-year plan to make it a World Championship, and it went so well that first year that it became one the following year. And I remember 14 was 6 winners in the first 6 events. First couple of years, incredible. Obviously, the manufacturers came along. We've had some brilliant world champions. We've seen utter domination for Volkswagen. Yeah, we had a wobble over the winter, and suddenly then we had this incredible entry, and now we've got all these cars and all these people on the same pace at the front. So it's fascinating to follow it for as long as I've been lucky enough to do so. I've no intention of leaving just yet. So as long as I don't get fired, I'm afraid you'll have to put up with for a bit longer. But I have to say, both me, Dan Rook, Neil Cole, we love all your interactions on social media. And if you missed it this week, the statistics were out. You guys, the fans at home of the World Rallycross Championship, we are the most interacted with of all of the motorsports. Ahead of F1, ahead of the World Rally Championship, everything else. The stats were up this week. And we get the most interactions in terms of per follower and per post of any of the championships, and we really, really appreciate that support. It's lovely to be here, receive your questions, and yeah, it's an honour to work on this series, so thank you for watching. At the minute, Bretagne leads from Pleskavas and Moser. Pleskavas and Moser have joked already. Do keep your questions coming in when we've got time. What favourite circuits on the 2019 calendar, Dan Rook?
I mean, for me, one with the most action, I think, favourite one was Spa.
Yeah.
Spa was brilliant.
But I think a lot of people were surprised by Spa or F1 circuit, you know, and actually it was absolutely brilliant. I loved it as well for Timmer's win. Yeah, because I love a good story. I say we're lucky, aren't we, to get to knock around with the drivers. They're all a great bunch. I genuinely don't have favourites, but I love a good story. And I think Spa, because it was a good race and we had a good result. I love Hollius. Hollius it's not just the track, it's the whole event, but I love the roller coaster nature of the track. But yeah, Spa was great, wasn't it? Really good.
Yeah, Spa was very, very entertaining, and like you say, Julius as well. For me, is one of the favourite I've driven.
I like this place. The atmosphere here at the parade. Earlier on this week, yesterday, was incredible. The fact it was so deep that marshals were able to move along and get the crowd out of the way. They were driving Group B cars through the streets of Loiac with drivers sitting on the roof. Slowly, obviously. No one was mad enough to launch from with someone sitting on the roof. Bretagne takes it 8.5 seconds faster than Lombec, so the times are tumbling. But do you know what? I think one of my favourite things about it, and I know you guys at home have circuits you like and circuits you don't, circuits you approve of and maybe don't approve of quite so much, is the different character of the various different places we've gone. You know, they're all really, really different. I loved racing under the lights at Abu Dhabi. I did. I thought it looked mint. Yeah, the photos and the footage and things from it. It's a world championship. We travel about. Again, we're lucky, aren't we? We get to go to these places. But I love the different character, and I've felt that since the start, really. You know, the traditional ones, the new ones. When you go places, the way that the crowd receives it. What are your favourite circuits? What did you think of Spa? Stefan Ganay from Pleskavas and Moser. That's where they slot in. Lombec's third. Say 2:35.3 Larson won with a 2:31.4. So actually, to be fair, Sondre Evschen, that time of Stefan Ganay would have seen him up in P8 last time out. So Ganay was 23rd last time, and this time that would have been enough for P8 in the last one. So that's good. That is good. Favourite RX event in history? Now that's difficult, but I probably can't pick one, partly because my memory's so terrible I can't really remember what happened 2 events ago, but we'll have a think about it. Ganay over the jump, through the chicane, and round for the checkered flag. So good to see a strong performance from a French driver here. At the moment in the semi-finals, we had 3 or 4 in there anyway. Could we have another one in by the end of qualifying tomorrow?
Great race win, a good time. How was it for you?
The feeling is good. For the first Q1, little crash, so you do fast, and that's right. So we will see the time.
You got a little bit of smoke coming out from under. All okay?
Yeah, it's perfect. Very fast, so it's logic.
Merci. Thank you.
Bit of smoke, but it's perfect. Good lad. That's what we like. He's fine. It's all good. Right, have a look at the grid for this one. Race 3, 5 cars on now. Derek Tohill, David Meslier, Mario Barbosa, Emmanuel Ann, and Janko. Janko, no, I think Janko's Hungarian here, so we had Choo Choo. Now we've got Janko. I'm loving the nicknames, Hungary. Strong nickname game. Choo Choo, if you remember Choo Choo, I'm sure you will. Lukács Cornell. Full-timer with us at one point, still competes with us occasionally. And it was the nickname his parents used to call him, and I think it was a monkey off the television, if I remember correctly. So let me know if you know what Janko's, why Janko. Tohill gets the whole shot. Derek out front, doing a good job this year in British Rallycross. Tight behind him though. Sideways onto the gravel trap and drops it on the brakes, spinning down the road. Mario Barbosa backs the car into the gravel trap. Dan Rook's old car, that is.
Oh, come on, Bert Barbosa, bring it up.
Come on, Bert. Back on the gas, drag it out the gravel. You want to know why it's called Bert? You're going to need to watch a lot of live streams. I think it was Sweden, but it might be Norway. Answers on a postcard. Sohill leading. Right behind him, David Meslier. Tohill, of course, coming up from touring cars as well. Fascinating to see the different people coming up from different backgrounds, Dan.
Yeah, you see so many diverse people in this sport, don't you? And it is fantastic to see everybody coming together and racing against each other. I mean, Derek actually drove it full time in the World Championship in 14, I believe it was, wasn't it? Did he win the touring cars in 13 and then full time in 14? He was actually driving the car that Barbosa is now in, currently down in 5th. So Derek Tohill has driven that Citroen DS3 as well.
Driving all the cars on the grid. Or two of them anyway. So Derek not having it his own way here. Meslier going with him. They've got the guys behind, so the guys who Joker are too far off. Meslier's gone Joker now. 2.5 back. Janko, I think, is out of the equation as well. So I think this is between Tohill and Meslier. Janko goes now. So I reckon Derek will respond on the next lap.
Got a big enough gap back to get himself in and out quite comfortably, I think.
So we got, as a spectator, which event in Europe would you recommend going to? Any of them, to be honest. If you want ones which are easy to get to, and I think that's fair for a lot of people, if you've not been to, you're not home of it. Bearing in mind, obviously, we appreciate a lot of you live in France or you live in Belgium, so we're from the UK, so anywhere we go, we need to jump on a plane or a boat. You guys sometimes are a drive away. There's a lot of Belgians here this weekend. Tohill going to get Meslier. He's going to come around the outside of Tohill. He's going to be close on the merge. Oh, he runs it wide and just holds on. The crowd were going mad there. They thought Meslier got him, but Derek Tohill just holds on. Great race. Over the line, Tohill takes it. Yeah, ones that are easy to get to for me, Spa and this are easy to get to. Riga is super easy to get to because it's like a 20-minute taxi ride from the airport to the city and 10 minutes from the city to the track. There is an airport literally at hell. Literally, what is it? A 5-minute drive, isn't it, from Trondheim Airport to the track?
Yeah.
Blankebanen. But there's only 2 hotels there, and you'll find those are fully booked a long way in advance by all the teams. So you can stay in Trondheim, which is about a half-hour drive away. Hollies is brilliant if you fancy camping. You're not going to get much sleep, though, I'm afraid, at Hollies, because it's carnage, but it's great fun. Honestly, any of them. Those are the easy ones to get to off the top of my head. Derek Tohill takes it from David Meslier, close between those two, 2:36.1 is not enough to take the lead in the session, as you'll see. De Ganay is at the top still, but Tohill and Meslier go in second, third. What about you, Dan? Any other ones you can think of?
I mean, for me, I was going to say Latvia. It's great to be in the capital city and still get to go to the racing and stuff. It's an awesome city to go to.
Barcelona, likewise.
Oh, yeah, we forgot Barcelona, didn't we?
And Cape Town. So it's the trouble, you see. This is the thing.
Europe, that one, mate.
Well, yeah, that is true. Yeah, it doesn't count as Europe, does it? It doesn't count as Europe. So it's, yeah, there you go. We've also been asked what tracks do we miss. I've got to be honest, I missed nearly all the tracks that have been in the calendar. I'd like it if we could go to 20 events. Because obviously the series goes to new places and I appreciate we move on and sometimes you wish that we hadn't left the circuit that we were at, but yeah, if we could add them all in, that'd be great. I always think people would be much happier about the new circuits if we had 20 events, but unfortunately the budget for the drivers would be a bit expensive for that.
Derek, you needed a good result after Q1, but how confident were you that you were going to come out in front out of the Joker?
I knew it was going to be really tight. It's pushing really hard. With a little problem with the back end of the car, so I was half trying to nurse the car, but I knew I had to push hard as well. But Yeah, you know, jokering last lap isn't ideal because you don't have the line, you don't have the right to the line, so I knew it was going to be really, really tight, but anyway, we got there, so always nice to get a win in France.
Well done, we'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Derek looking happy and relaxed with that one. Look at that crowd. I say 75,000 people over the course of the weekend. I had a good walk around the campsites yesterday because I got lost. I left Lowiac after the parade, headed off down the road. Yeah, this is definitely the one. I walked a mile into the countryside. I was like, I think I may have gone too far. Climbed over a fence and a few hedges and managed to get back in up at the Joker Lap entry. So there you go. Should have looked at my phone. Mandy August, Gaetan Sarrazin, Patrick Guillaume, Rodolphe Audran and Ales Vucic in this one. Going to do 2 more questions for you and then we're getting in towards the sharp end. So let's get these guys away and see how the action unfolds. Mandy August on the inside here. We know that car's going well because Scheider is right up there in world. Mandy gets beaten down to the first corner. Sarrazin in the lead.
I think Mandy locked it up on the brakes on the way in to turn on there and just dropped it, couldn't quite get it turned in and collected Audran behind her as well, so she goes to the joke lap, which makes perfect sense.
Interesting to see Patrick Guillaume in the Hyundai. We saw this morning, didn't we? And this isn't a GRX car, so that's a car that Guillaume, I'm assuming, has developed himself. Haven't been down and had a chat, I'm afraid. We don't get so much time doing all the coverage as we do now to go and have a chat in the paddock. But hopefully you guys enjoy seeing all the action at home anyway. So a question that came in, favourite RX event of all time and favourite RX car of all time. So I suppose for me, some of that would be, the first ever rallycross, the first ever live motorsport I went to see was the European Grand Prix at Brands Hatch, which was on in November. It was always cold and wet, sometimes it was foggy. It was the Group B cars when I went, so I think it was early 90s. And Will Gollop in the Metro 6R4, I'm afraid, is probably for me, with a P&O Ferry Silkeling livery on it. It was mega. I can remember sitting in Paddock Hill Grandstand and seeing the car appear absolutely sideways. You would only see the front of the car that appeared. Patran was racing. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. After that, I went and watched some rallies, and then I got into rallying, competed in that, and was lucky enough then to get into television. And I come and work on rallycross again. So it was a long gap between me first getting into rallycross and following reviews, then I went to rallying and then came back to rallycross in 2013. But I suppose that kind of, not necessarily my favourite event, but I've got very fond memories of my first experiences of any motorsport being rallycross and particularly of Will's car. So yeah, not ashamed to admit I had a poster of Will Gollop's interesting time on my wall for a long, long time. Piper cams across the top of the on the sun visor. Also had one of Juha Kankkunen in the Subaru World Rally car sideways in the snow somewhere. That was underneath the window of my bedroom. What about you, Dan? Hero cars or hero events?
Well, I hate to break it to you, mate, but I don't think I was even born on your favourite event there.
Can we get an older commentator, please? You probably weren't, actually. When were you born?
97.
Oh, go away. Nobody likes Dan Rook. Send abuse to Dan Rook on social media, everyone. No, I'm only joking. He's doing a brilliant job on co-commentary. I know a couple of people have mentioned that today, so thanks to Dan. So you go on then, so a bit more of a modern era for you.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't actually introduced to the World Championship until 15. So I was a bit of a late comer, I guess. So you know, I'm sure there's people out there that have been watching it, well, more involved with it more than I have.
Yeah.
My first event I went to outside of the UK was here. I was a guest of Liam Doran.
Yeah.
So I guess this will be my memorable event here in 15 as the first one outside of the UK.
That's cool, isn't it? Yeah. Right in the heart of it. Sarrazin took this one, as you can see. Fastest so far, 2:34.6. There he is at the top, 2:36.1 for Guillaume, Ali Vucic, Mandy August and Rodolphe Audran. Look at that, a French 1-2-3 for the local crowd. So Patrick Guillaume slots in as well. Stéphane Degenet is demoted down to second place, but the fans will be keen on that. I'm just trying to see if they can. They can see it on the big screens. They've got the graphics as well. So this is going fantastically for the French. Watching Mandy August on the inside, doesn't win the start, and then, yeah, too late on the brakes. And in fact, that's cost Rodolphe Audran as well, outside her. Here's another little Audran that just gets collected by August on the way into the first corner. Nearly coming together again when they get to the Jokelat merge. Serrazan out front on an absolute flyer. And there he is, flying literally over the jump in the Joker lap. Nice to see another Hyundai out there as well. Got all sorts of cars in Supercar and in Super 1600 as well, of course. They're at Rallycross, the only place where new Super 1600 cars are being built. Niels with our winner.
Gaetan, a great race, good win, and your quickest so far. You must be happy with that.
Yes, I am very happy to win this heat. For my only race this year, it's a good result.
Are you enjoying racing here at Loiac? The home crowd are enjoying watching.
Yes, it's a very important course for my team, and a good circuit, and I'm very happy.
Well done, merci.
Should be very happy as well on top in Loiac. Of course, a good result at your home event, Dan, as well. We see a lot of people, don't we? They do a one-off, they get a mega result, and then they're like, okay, I want to do more. You know, you do your home event, don't you, to dip your toe in the water. Am I fast enough for Europe? Yeah, you are.
Yeah, exactly. And the best place to do your first one is obviously a track you know well. You don't want to be coming into it learning the competition.
Lydden Hill for you.
Yeah, Lydden for me, yeah. In what was RX Lights.
Yeah.
It's now RX2.
And that was an MSA scheme, wasn't it, to give you a shot in the car. It went well. And Dan ended up being runner-up in RX2 a couple of years ago. Antoine Mass on the inside of Andrea de Bourg, Sondre Evgen, Laurent Bouliot and Mikko Ikonen. So this is going to be quick. Now we're getting into the top 10. Now we're getting to the business end. Here we go. Evgen, we know, was quick this morning. He was something like 7th overall. Not in Euro, he was right up there amongst the world guys. We've got a really sweet lap in. Antoine Mass on the inside has got a mega livery on the car. It's kind of like an army spec green. Oh, but it's Dubourg who gets the best start by a mile. Shuts the door instantly on the inside. Ikonen trying to go around the outside. Ikonen all the way through the gravel trap. Oh, Dubourg gives it a bit of room. Ikonen slots back in P4. Evgen's managed to get third. Nobody going to drop it on the brakes. There we go. So Dubourg leading. Down towards the hairpin. I'm liking that livery down P2 Mass.
Yeah, it looks really cool, doesn't it?
It's great up close.
Yeah, I love the matte colours against them, the fluorescent yellow. Looks really tidy, doesn't it? And at least it's easy for us to spot compared to some of the other cars. It's quite unique.
He does have a target on it, which seems somewhat counterintuitive in Rallycross. You don't need a target, do you? You're already a target.
He's just indicating where he wants to be hitting the car.
Yeah, it's fine. The door is fine, not the front or the rear. Evgen sliding the polo around the end, runs a little bit wide. Ikonen has a look up the inside, but there isn't quite enough space. Following it through the right-hander. There are places to pass it, Dan. My favourite really is this last corner. If you see someone get just a little bit too rotated in front of you, you can straighten up, can't you, and get underneath it in a supercar.
Yeah, it is a good place to pass, and one of few places that there are on this circuit. And yeah, it's a very tidy pass if you can get it over and done with. But obviously not ideal for the last lap, if they come across the line and not quite able to make the pass stick.
Into the Joker together, so Ikonen had committed to that, hadn't he? You could see by the attitude of the car, and I wonder if he'd be disappointed then when Evgen's gone in front of him, but because he's taken that wide line and got on the bar on the way in the handbrake. Oh, and they've lost out there. So Bouliot is in front of both. Joker early, holding on now. It's a train of cars, contact all the way through. Ikonen having a look up the inside of Evgen. Ikonen's inside into turn one. Nothing Evgen can do. Straightens out the steering, gives the place up. Nicely done by Ikonen. I think Evgen there somewhat distracted by Bouliot in front. Antoine Mass has jokered as well. So it's Andrea de Bourg who goes into the joker lap. No, lands the car hard. That bounced about 3 times. Mass trying to come around the outside. I think he might have enough here. He's going to be inside. People stamping their feet up in the hospitality area, but it's not enough. Mass comes out at P2. De Bourg with some tyre smoke off the rear. Mass has a look up the inside, trying to find the exit. Traction goes wide. Not enough. De Bourg takes it. Mass 3 2/10 of a second back. Antoine Mas was P6 after Q1. That's another great drive. Dubourg, not enough to take the position away from Gaetan Sarrazin. Still fastest, 2:34.6. Mega once we get up to the sharp end, that's what I like. Can I say, Dan, we were discussing, weren't we? I think when you look at how we've had some quick times in some strange races here, I think some of the very quick French guys didn't have a great Q1. Q3, when these guys are all in a big chain of, like, I think we could be looking at 3 or 4 really sharp races.
Yeah, definitely, and it is really great to see, you know, they're doing their home event, seeing how they get on, sipping their toe in the water, like you said, and the pace is there. You know, we said earlier, it's one of the strongest national championships out there, with, you know, with great talent competing in it, and they are proving that now.
I love it when you guys can hear the crowd at home, because it's often where venues where you can't. Sometimes we can, but it's great. I think Loic, because of where the cameras are so close to the crowd, you guys can hear it, and you can hear the cheer. I remember the cheers when Loeb got past somebody here, and you can hear it at home. We can hear it here in commentary. It's a great atmosphere. A lot of people here. Top 3, Dubourg, Mas and Bouliot look French, 1, 2, 3. Eakin and Evgen edged out to 4th and 5th. Dubourg and Mas slot in. Top 5 is French in Q2. We've got Derek Tohill down in 6th. Meslier look is 7th. So, wow, 6 out of the top 7 are French. Polius Pleskavas is in 8th place, 2:43.6. Would have been, where's that? 2:34.6. That would have been 5th in the previous session. So I think there's still time to come, and the next 5 are going to be the ones who might get it done. Andrea Dubourg is with Neil Cole.
Andrea, a good win. How was it for you?
I'm fine. It was very hard because Antoine Masset, French champion from last year, was very hard behind me, but he stayed okay, and I'm very happy from the second hit.
At the moment, the top 5 are all French. That's really impressive here in France.
Yeah, it's impressive. The track have a lot of grip, and this is our kind of track, but it's good.
Well done, thank you.
Sondre Evgen in the middle of the grid, seeming to have tons of space around, but Dubourg got the whole shot. Antoine Mas then in behind. Eakin looked right over the ground. I tell you what, Dubourg got attacked there, didn't he? And did well to hold on. You're catching a wasp inside there, wasn't he? Trying to hold the steering wheel, get the old angles on.
Yeah, crazy footwork as well, I'm sure. Well, actually, probably not. Probably just foot flat.
Nail it, get it straight out, see what you can do, yeah. Yeah, it sounds a bit counterintuitive at home, but front-wheel drive and forward drive, basically, if you're sideways, you nail it and point the direction you want to go and hope. The more wheels driven, the more chance you got it. Rear-wheel drive's a totally different kettle of fish, so don't try it at home. Go and put yourselves a rally school day. Send it. Then you can be poor like me and Dan Rook, having spent all your money on motorsport over the years.
Then have to work in TV.
We can't complain. Look at that, Dubourg and Mas, that was great. Really, really good, tight race. Mas all over the back of him, trying to get to the flag. Final race of Q2 for Euro RX. Second to last round, remember. We've got one more to come at Latvia. Larsen, Munich, Karai, Brinterson and Dubourg. And the marshal will point to each of them. There he goes, gives them the green. Look at the crowd behind the pre-grid. Phones being held aloft. You get a great noise down there. Plenty of pictures of the Loic start arch. Great start, Larsen. Better start to the right. Karai with a fantastic start. Going to shut the door, surely. Jamie Dubourg around the outside. Larsen drops down. Oh, Karai's in the dirt. It's going to miss the apex turn 2. Goes a bit deep. Has to wait on the throttle, but I think he's still going to hold on. Dubourg has to look up the inside, but can't make it work. So Larsen holds on to 3rd place. Who's going to go? Joker Larsen goes straight where Munich goes with him. Brinterson says, thank you very much. I'll have that gap in front. See if I can close down the 2 that are ahead of me. So Brinterson's going to want to come out in front of the 2 that are jokered. And you'll see here, there's nothing in it. Brinterson going from 5th to 3rd, but that's the difference. Now he's got to chase down Karai. Good move by Larsen, I think, to go there, Dan.
Yeah, I think it was a good move. It's not like, Brinterson's a slow driver. He can tag along to the back of him and keep going, but he's not going to want that. He's going to want Brinterson to go on the next lap to give him that little bit of extra space, but I don't think he's going going to be losing too much time here as Dubourg's got past Karai. We've seen out of shot. I didn't see it. I don't know if you guys saw it at home, but yeah, Dubourg's managed to get us away past Karai, and Karai seems to be dropping back into the clutches of Brinterson.
Maybe Karai's got an issue. Brinterson hasn't joking and doesn't really have to, does he? He'd be quite happy if Larson doesn't get the fastest time in this session. And at the minute, I'd say Larson, in a quick race like this, you can afford to choke early, but Larson is all over the back of Brinterson. Couldn't find a way past at the Estering, though.
No, he couldn't, and Brinterson able to get the better of him. He actually got a better start in the final, and from there, that was it, as Larson's now looking up the outside.
Larson's going to go wide deep. He's going to hope Brinterson goes in, but he doesn't. Gets a good exit, but there's nowhere to pass down that back straight, so this is working for JB Dubourg. He's got a 1.9 gap over Larson. He's going to have the joker on this last lap, as is Brinterson, but they're now up behind Karai. Dubourg's going to take this down.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the gap, hasn't he, up to 2.1 now, and Larson's still got half a lap stuck behind this train of cars where he can't capitalise. So, yeah, it is going to be, if we can pull out a monster, corner to turn 3 and into the joker merge.
Down towards the hairpin. Dubourg will now go tight. This needs to be smooth. I think he's got enough of an advantage. He'd like to take the top spot in this session if he can. Larson won Q1. JB Dubourg was down in P5. Dubourg comes out in front. Larson manages to get Karai and Brinterson. Munich just about holding on. He does. Karai straightened the car up. There is no way through. JB Dubourg going to stop the clocks. He's going to do it. JB Dubourg wins the session. 2:32.6. 2 seconds faster than they've gone so far. So we thought there might be a bit of extra time, but Dubourg has blown them away 2 seconds faster. So how's that? 2:32.6. Larson did a 2:31.4 earlier on today. So track conditions different. They could be on used tyres. Tyres are definitely going to be a factor here this weekend. We'll talk about that a bit in World. Dubourg, I think, is going to get a big cheer from the crowd, and they're going to be particularly pleased. I'm looking forward to seeing the scoreboard. I think Larson's going to spoil it for them with a Swedish flag. There you go, they're on their feet. JB Dubourg takes it from Robin, Larson, Rennie Munich, Tamas, Karai and Thomas Brinterson. And where are the French flags? Oh, they were doing so well. They had like the whole of the top 5, but still, they get a Frenchman at the top. JB Dubourg wins Q2. Larson is 2nd, Munich is 3rd, Sarrazin is 4th, Karai 5th, Andrea Dubourg 6th, Brinterson 7th, Antoine Mas in 8th. So lots and lots of French drivers in the mix. If they could get a French win here, we know how happy they would be. Neil Cole is with JB Dubourg, I understand.
Jean-Baptiste, amazing performance there. Fastest in Q2. You look very happy.
Yeah, very happy because it's the first win of quali for me for the season. Moreover, here in front of my home crowd in Loyac, and with a fantastic start, fantastic attack. I was on the maximum, and I'm very happy of that.
Well done. Let's hope it continues. Very good performance by all the French drivers at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Today we know we are strong on this weekend, and we really want to fight for the win. So the level is very high, so we have to push.
Well done. See you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Really even start across the 5, apart from Karai. So Karai getting a Dubourg as well from the outside. Larson being pretty sensible mid-pack. Karai was quite wild out to loose, wasn't he? I didn't see anything to suggest that he had an issue, but obviously dropped back down to 4th. He ran wide there, look. That was where Dubourg got through. We were looking at the joker on the inside, and Dubourg had got up the inside of Karai. He'd run the car a bit too deep on the throttle on the exit of turn 3. But Larson, unfortunately, that early joker, didn't get the best start, early jokered. It didn't quite work out, unfortunately. Brinterson and Karai just not quite quick enough to carry him to the front of the pack.
No, Robin has got so much pace, hasn't he? But JB has also shown how much pace he has at his home circuit here. So I think when it comes to the semi-finals and finals, it's going to be crunch time.
Here are the standings after Q2. Robin Larsen leading with a win and a P2. JB de Bourg in P2. He gets a win in Q2. He was 5th in Q1. Munich holds 3rd. Karai 4th. Brinterson 5th. Then it's de Bourg, Mas, Serrazan. So that's 4, 5, 6 cars, French cars in the semi-finals here in France for European Rallycross. Patrick Guillaume, Laurent Pouliot, Derek Tohill and Mandy August is up there as well. Great stuff for the local fans here. Absolutely massive crowd, really good atmosphere. But they do love it when a French person wins, which is fine. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect, isn't it? And just looking out the window, I can't see really a single patch of grass out there. The bank is just absolutely littered with spectators, isn't it? So
yeah.
For them to have,
that's what they want. That's what you want at your home race. If you're in the UK, you want to see a British winner. If you're in Sweden, you want to see a Swedish winner. These guys want to see French winners. So they're getting roughly what they want in Euro RX with 6 cars through to the semi-finals. In World RX at the minute, have we got any? Yes. So we've got Fabien Paillet and Cyril Raymond currently inside the top 12, but only just. So they are going to want to get those guys further up. Jonathan Pye is down in 16th, Guilan Shisha in 18th. So we've got a few that they want to get through. Our commentary box is up there, just slightly further across to the right-hand side. You can see the corner of a box. That's where we are. There we are. Look, one fan at the back who's has seen himself on the screen and gives it a wave. There we are. How are we doing?
Where's that camera?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, there he is.
Just over the way. There we are. Is it Robbie down there? It is Robbie. Yeah, there's Robbie. You'll be very familiar with Robbie. He's on Instagram. You can follow Robbie. He does the World Rally Championship as well as the World Rallycross Championship. Lots of nice things on there. Always puts a decent post up on Rig Day. Amazing photos of lovely places. So some of the crowd sitting up there, that's the hospitality area. You can see the Monster Energy rig at the far end. It is a packed house. It's been a packed house all day, but it's getting busier and busier. We're getting towards the sharp end. We're getting towards World Rallycross. So let's head down to Neil Cole, who's in the paddock.
Yeah, so of course, as we learned earlier, it's a reverse fastest first for Q2 for World Rallycross. So top qualifier in Quali 1, Topi Heikkinen, will go out in the first race. Another fast Finn will be in a later race. Nicholas Gronholm. Nicholas, first time I've spoken to you this weekend. How is everything? How was Q1?
Not so good. I wasn't really comfortable in the car. I don't know what was wrong. Maybe I was trying too much, and it wasn't really clean like I'm used to. So it was a bit difficult, but now we have reset the head and tried some changes on the car.
Reset the head, changes on the car. Give the viewers watching at home an idea of just how much fun or difficult it is to master this Loiac circuit.
It looks like on paper and on TV like quite an easy one. It's not so many turns and quite good flow, but actually everyone is so close in the times that you need to find every dent, every dent somewhere, and it seems to be quite difficult. So it's easy to make mistakes. It's really like dusty on the outside of the line, so it's not easy.
Okay, well, good luck, Sisu, for Quali 2. There we go. So as you can hear, the cars are cleaning off their tyres and putting up to the start line. So I'll hand you back to your commentators, Andrew Coley and Dan Rook.
So we've got cars coming up to the line. We've got viewers apparently in. We're hearing Denmark, Ireland, Canada, Ecuador, France, Portugal, Germany, the Czech Republic. So welcome along to you all. Zianov is about to go to the grid as well. Monster Energy girls are down there. Timmy Hansen is holding himself slightly over in his grid slot, and that might be because he thinks he's found a better grip area off to the side. Bachusca on the outside. Remember, it's fastest first. So the grids were flipped by our spinner, and that's going to be crucial come Q3, because in Q3 it could be damp in the morning. So hold on at the end of this session and see which way they're going to be. Here we go then, World Supercar Q2 Race 1, the fastest going first, Topi Heikkinen, 1 Q1. Can he do the same here against the quick guys? Timmy Hansen is second, Scheider third, Timosyanov fourth, Bachusca in fifth. Great result for Bachusca. He's in with the quick guys now. What can he do? Here we go. Thumbs up from the marshal, green flag. Topi on the inside. Timmy hasn't given him much space, but that's probably for Timmy to find grip rather than any kind of aggressive tactic. Scheider away incredibly fast. Surely he must have guessed the lights there. Timo Scheider, 0.75. That's impossible. So that's absolutely outrageous. Scheider, I'm sure, has got away there with a spot of luck, but it doesn't matter. He still gets it. He didn't jump the start. Bachusca's up into P2. Heikkinen third. Surely goes Joker now. He does. Timmy Hansen goes with him. So Timmy's gone with Topi. The two quickest guys in the previous session have got Joker straight away. What happened with Scheider there? I thought it was jump start for sure.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see that as well, because Topi got the best of the rest, didn't he? But Scheider, he definitely guessed the lights there. That was impossible.
I think that's 0.075, not 0.7, because obviously he would be behind the others. So Scheider has got lucky there at the start, 100%. But yes, go on, Timo, get in. So that Timo, Scheider and Bachusca away from the others. Timosyanov is 1.6 off them. Behind them, we're hoping that they go Joker. They don't. Bachusca goes now, and that's to defend against the guys who are further back. So Bachusca has gone. This is to try and hold position. Oh, he's right out to the wall. The car's rotating all the way through there. Going to come out in front of Timosyanov. Timosyanov hasn't even jokered. Great move by GCK to send Bachusca then.
Yeah, and that was a really, really fast Joker lap, wasn't he? Pinpointed that to perfection.
Absolutely. I mean, the sideways to the wall, but then to hold that rotation through the corner, Dan, it was almost no change of steering angle. Beautiful.
Yeah, really, really good job. You can tell Bachusca's really settled into the GCK Megane, hasn't he?
So Scheider, is he going to go Joker? He doesn't. He decides to hold on, and that puts him a second back. Bachusca's only a second off him. Rokas Bachusca might be about to do something quite special here. Timosyanov, where's he going to come out? He's going to come out the back of the train. So Timmer not getting what he's looking for. Timmy's up his inside, so Timmy Hansen gets past. Timosyanov has a look then, swaps to the outside, but can't get through. Heikkinen runs deep. Hansen will look to get the traction, but he's not close enough, so Topi pushing hard. You think there's a problem? Bachusca's just 0.7 off. He's taken 0.3 off Scheider in that last lap. Rokas Bachusca trying to go through here. Got a train of cars up at the back. He's on the back of Scheider. Scheider goes Joker. Bachusca's going to take this, surely. So Scheider into the Joker. Got to get the nose in. We saw how quick Bachusca. He's done it. Bachusca's miles in front. Scheider's going to come out in front to Topi here. What a drive by Rokas Bachusca. The winning time in the first session by Topi was 2:29.9. What's Bachusca going to do here? Because this is key, is whether it's quick or not. Over the line. Bachusca does a 2:29.3. Fastest time of the weekend. Rokas Bachusca in with the quick guys, and he's destroyed them.
That was awesome.
Brilliant drive by Rokas Bachusca. That's amazing. Helmet off already in the car. I'm down at the fact he was beating them, but I kind of thought, are they in a bit of a fight here? Is it that he's got lucky at the start? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, and when I saw the time dropping to Scheider, I was like, okay, he's done his Joker lap already, and I mean, there was obviously the bit of a gap to Scheider before he did that, but he nailed the perfect Joker, and then he was on it.
I think the Joker's the key, because the lap times are 36.1, 36.0, 36.4. We've seen people in the 35s, haven't we? Only just, but in the 35s. But that Joker was incredible, 37.0. So it was only literally 1 second off. So 2:29.3, fastest time of the weekend for Rokas Bachusca. Fastest first in this Q2 session in France. Scheider, Heikkinen, Hansen and Timosyanov. Tell you what, that's going to do Scheider no harm either. So Scheider was third after Q1. He's just gone second here. Of course, we've still got quick drivers to come, but that was very, very fast indeed from Rokas Bachusca. He is with Neil Cole.
Ruckus, we might have to call you Rocket now because that was incredible. Talk us through it.
Finally, my day is coming because other days was unlucky. Now in my friends, every time I'm fast. I hope I will do my best. Tomorrow is the more 2 hits. Happy to be here. Thank you for my team, for family, sponsors, all fans. Thank you.
Yeah, you must be very happy. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Broadcast looking pretty wide-eyed. I think I would be. Scheider with the start of the year. Timo's going to tell us that's all reaction time, but I think looking at, say, it being a 0.07, he gets the light. So Toppy effectively got the whole shot ahead of the rest of the pack, but Baciuska had managed to get through turn 2, up into P2, and from then on, see, he had that little gap, didn't he, to Timo ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know whether that was just through first corner shenanigans because he jokered then on lap 2 to try and cover off the guys behind. So maybe he gained on this, but this is the perfect joker, that continuous drift. And actually, car's looking pretty straight, isn't it? Sliding in front of Timo Zharnov.
If he hadn't got in front of Timo there, he wouldn't have been able to do that because Timo wasn't circulating at the same pace. Definitely, Timo was the key really to the 2 packs, if you like. Timo drops into 5th. Still going mega quick. Don't forget, these are the fastest drivers in the World Rallycross Championship. But for Baciuska to edge Timo when he did, to get out when he did into clean air. So, he kind of ended up with a bit of clean air. Then he joked, I guess, because he was catching Scheider, got Timo Zharnov, and then had more clear air. Incredible job by Rokas Baciuska, setting an absolutely brilliant time. Now, good job by Baciuska, but what was going on with Scheider's start? We're going to take a look back at it now so we can figure out how good Scheider was. Here you go, watch this. Watch the green. Look, he's going already, and then everybody else goes. Now, bear in mind, you have to react to the green going off. That's an excellent replay, guys, in the truck. I have to say, that's great. I'm impressed with the split screen. Very good. 0. What was it? Sorry, what are we hearing? 0. Okay, that's what we. I'm not 0.16 is what we're saying. Not sure. Okay, well, so apparently the sensors then couldn't read it because it was that fast. So that doesn't surprise me, but he definitely guessed that, Dan, because basically he moved as the green came on. He was moving.
Yeah, and let's not forget he has to move 12 centimeters before he hits that sensor as well.
Yeah.
So he would have, if it's too fast for that to even register, he would have been moving before the green.
Go on, Timo. Good effort. Right, here we go then. What are we on? Q2 race 2. Niklas Gronholm, Yanis Baumanis, Christian Sabo, Andreas Backerud and Kevin Hansen. Backerud hopefully has calmed down since Q1. Kevin Hansen could do with a better run. Those 2 guys, P1 and P2 in the World Championship. Sabo did so well here last year in Euros. Baumanis, P2 in Canada, and Gronholm's been quick everywhere this year. Oh, but for his illness and missing a couple of rounds. So the car's fast. Can he do it? Here we go. Gronholm holds the line. Kevin Hansen tries to go around the outside of Sabo. Sabo into the back of Gronholm. Baumanis is alongside. Baumanis goes P2, backward round the outside to P3. It's Gronholm with the whole shot, and it's Kevin Hansen at the back of the pack.
Yeah, Kevin Hansen now with another 5th place start. He is going to be hating this, and he's following Andreas now into the Joker lap.
Oh, that's not so bad. He knows Andreas is super quick, and he's in a championship fight with him. He'd like to be in front of him. We've got 2 sessions to go. It doesn't matter. He just needs a good, clean run. Doesn't want to be down in P10 after the next one, which is was where he was. Yeah, P10 after this. So Baumanis and Gronholm. Baumanis going so well this year. Can Niklas exploit this car like Toppy did in the first run? Niklas was a little bit sideways for me in Q1.
Yeah, like I've said previously, you got to drive this track really, really smooth, and Andreas is key to that. And he took a win here back in, I know it was his 2nd win ever, wasn't it, back in 13?
They've sent Sabo, yeah, it was, directly after he'd taken the win at Holliers. They sent Sabo, and I think that's as much to release Backward. He's not in the same team, but he's with the same squad.
Yeah, same guys sort of running the car, isn't it? So getting him in to release him, and it was no harm to Sabo, because it wasn't like he was catching the guys in front. So they've just released Andreas now to try and get in on Baumanis.
So the gap hasn't come down. Baumanis is front right, smoking up big time. The gap hasn't come down to Gronholm, but for me, the gap to Baumanis, there's only a 2nd in it. So I think Backward's got Baumanis here. Is Baumanis going to go Joker? He does. So Baumanis has got a nail this week. Absolutely nails it. I still think Backward Backwood will be alongside him. Going to hit both his marks. Watch for Backwood. Backwood's got him, so it's going to be about whether he gets Kevin. He's going to shut the door on Kevin. Baumanis holds on to P3 as it stands at the moment. Gronom, the only driver not to have joked. He had 2 seconds. He crosses the line now. 1.8, just about enough, Dan?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it just depends what happens around these next 2 or 3 corners before the Joker lap. But Andreas is, you know, he's fast. He took 3 attempts out of Niklas on that last lap.
Gronom into the Joker, rolls off the throttle, rolls back on him, going to hop the jump. Here he goes, look for both the curbs. On the gas now, commit to it backwards there. Gronom's got the shorter run on the inside, but backwards on the inside for the next corner. Backwards slots it through. Gronom into second place. Andreas Backwood has got it done in Q2. Is he going to get a quicker time though? No, 2:30.8 goes third. So Baciuska and Scheider quicker than Backwood, but that is a good result for him. Kevin Hansen was where? Kevin was 4th, 2:32.7. Well, we'll see where they slot in the session in just a moment. Yeah, he's happy with that. That's more like it. Gathered himself up, Dan, and got it done.
Yeah, he needed to really give himself a pep talk after Q1, and he's been able to come out now in Q2 and deliver.
Yeah, he's happy. He is happy. Back down the return road, past all the fans on the radio. Latvian flags there for Baumanis too. Andreas Backwood takes it with 2 corners to go from Niklas Gronom. I thought Gronom had enough, but I don't think the Joker was quite quick enough. Baumanis takes 3rd, Kevin Hansen 4th, Christian Sabo 5th. They're all quick, but not as quick as Baciuska and Scheider. So Backwood looking Gronom slotting in 3rd and 4th. Kevin Hansen is down the order again. So I think Backwood's going to move up here. Prior to this session, Backwood was 9th and Kevin Hansen was 10th. There's going to be a degree of separation here, and it's going to depend now in the next race if any of these guys can slot in. I think we've seen, I think we've seen the 10 quickest. We've got Doran and Schischrit to come in 2 races' time. They've only got 3 cars in there. So Neil Cole is with Andreas Backwood.
Andreas, a big smile on your face. You needed to do a mature, level-headed drive, and it worked.
Yeah, it really did. I was thinking through different scenarios, and obviously my start wasn't great, so I backed off and went back in and did a good Joker, and I felt I had a good speed. Lost a bit the first lap, but after that we picked up a little bit. I just want to go back to earlier and say, guys, inside the car, the hits are much harder than looks outside. So Anton, you know, I'm a little bit sorry also for me pointing out on others. When you point at somebody, you always have 3 fingers pointing at yourself. So I guess I was hit of the moment, and so I'm a man enough to say I'm sorry.
Well done, Andreas. Thank you.
Good lad, Andreas Backwood. That's a proper, full-on apology. No excuses, you know, an apology. There you go. Good lad. He's got a lot of fans, Backwood. You can see why. He's a lovely bloke. They all are, you know, but this is, Dan, this is a world championship. They're thumping into each other. Everybody's committed and full of adrenaline. You make some crazy decisions sometimes. Good on him.
Yeah, I mean, that was really good on him. You know, fantastic apology there. And I've never heard that before. When you're pointing at someone, you've always got 3 fingers
That's
pointing
very
back
good,
at yourself.
Isn't it? Yeah. It's very good. Mega. So Backwood chasing it down, on board with Kevin Hansen. Seeing Baumanis in front of him and Backwood. This was when Gronom went. Do you think Gronom wasn't quick enough in the Joker, or do you think Backwood took the time out of him in the run to the Joker?
I think he probably took the run out of him on the run to it. Although Gronom's Joker lap was roughly 3 tenths slower than Baciuska's. So, well, Baciuska hit the perfect one.
Yeah, Baciuska. That's the best Joker lap you'll ever see at Lowiak, I reckon. If someone else can do that this weekend, yeah, he knew. Yeah, he knows he's got an onboard too. It's him dusting himself off. Go on, Andreas. So we have a couple more races, 3 more races to come. Now we've got Anton Markland and Cyril Raymond in this one. So we've got Schischrit and Doran in the next one. We've got lots of other drivers too, but those are the 4 who I think are a threat to our top guys in terms of outright pace. At the minute, we've got Kevin Hansen outside the top 8 and Andreas Bakker up in 3rd. We've always got one eye on the championship, remember. We've only got 3 rounds to go. Fabien Paillet, Cyril Raymond, Anton Martin, Guillaume de Ridder and Ollie Bennett. The 3 cars in the centre of your picture, all running for GCK. Don't be silly will be the briefing. It's very hard. 3 cars in the middle of the pack. Great start, Cyril Raymond and Anton Martin. Martin looks to have got the better one. Raymond drops out. Bennett trying to go around the outside. He's on the throttle. Gets tagged back the other way. Spins the car around. Martin gets into P2. But it's Paillet who leads on the run down to the turn 3. Bennett with the mini buried into reverse, can't get it out, so that's Bennett stuck in the gravel. Martin goes joker. Martin had good pace off the line.
Yeah, really good pace, but just not quite able to hang it around the outside, and Ollie attempting the outside and getting beached there. Unlucky for him. Now Marklin leaving lots of room, it looked like, on the way out of the joker lap there for his GCK teammates. Who's that? De Ridder. De Ridder leaving the door open for him when he came through. So yeah, you can see that these guys, they're aware of their teammates around them. They're playing it safe. They don't want to get into any fights with the people under the same tent. So
it was interesting when Raymond dropped out of it off the start. I almost felt that not even that he was giving it to Martin. Martin had beaten him off the start. Basically, if Raymond had stayed on the throttle where he was, he definitely would have taken Martin out. You know, that's the disadvantage of racing your teammates, isn't it? Which I guess is why. De Ridder versus Raymond, but De Ridder hasn't jokered, but he's going to hold Raymond up if he doesn't go joker next time. There'll be a similar pace between them. Guillaume de Ridder's in 14th here this weekend, so really hoping he makes it through to the semi-finals, because we like Guillaume, and he's had a rotten year in terms of luck. So Cyril Raymond will be hoping that de Ridder goes next. Yeah, see, yeah, Cyril Raymond.
Front left, is that? Yeah, front left has just completely exploded on him as he came out of turn 2, maybe collecting the curb or the tyre.
Cyril Raymond, I'm afraid, was in P12, and a DNF, Dan's going to drop him out of contention. That's a real shame, because he was a fan favourite.
Yeah, real shame, and we saw him do fantastic here last year in the European RX, and yeah, we're not going to see that repeat performance.
Paillet's joke and come out behind Markland, so Anton Markland leading. Ollie Bennett a DNF, Cyril Raymond's going to be a DNF as well. Should see the car though, I think you can hear the car still. It'll be in the gravel, there it is. So this is about whether or not Markland can match the times of the top guys. Baciuska did a 2:30, 2:29.3, and remember that's in a very, very similar car. Not quite the same spec as the Markland and Schischeret cars. I've had an update for this year. I think they're running a different engine, whereas I believe Baciuska is in a full pro drive spec McGann. So different engine, crosses the line, he's not as quick. 2:32.2, still sees him inside the top 8 though. What about Paillet? 0.8 off, 2:33.1. We've only, that's going to be, no, that's behind, so 2:32 for Martin, 0.2. That knocks Kevin Hansen down one more spot. We've still got plenty of qualifying to go. I say, you're going to keep an eye on that title fight from now on. Good drive by Markland. So you got a decent start, and then tactics to get him back up. Fair bit of dust down at turn 1. That's I think where they've dragged, or is it? They try? No, I think it's just dust off the side of the track. The marshals are sweeping up. You nearly always get a car with a wheel in the loose here at Lowiak. If there isn't one in the gravel at turn 2, you're not at Lowiak. 2:32.2 for Markland, Paillet, de Ridder, DNF for Raymond, DNF for Bennett. Markland goes 7th. Baciuska's looking very good indeed, isn't he now? Doran and Schischeret are the 2 that are still to come, who I think could challenge that time. Cyril Raymond then, tiny bit of contact on the front right there. Bennett comes round, looking, there's nothing else here. Markland with a bit of contact with Paillet, just gets through that gap look with Bennett. 3 angles, I do like that.
I love seeing it coming into shot and you're looking at the passenger door.
Looking at the start, looking back at the start. So no, there wasn't contact at the merge, was there? So that's Markland. So is there Cyril Raymond? So I don't know. You think he maybe the curbs down?
I think he hit the tyres on the inside up here. Yeah, the front wheel was already gone, and I could see when the cars came round, the marshals were out moving the tyre stack.
You've seen a couple of breakages on the front end of the Clio. Not sure, but Well, Anton Markland's done it. I wonder if he's heard Andreas Backerud's apology already. Probably not.
Anton, it was a good race win, but you don't look very happy. What's up?
No, but to be honest, I know what the pace we had this morning on free practice, and then obviously we had a great launch off the line here in Q2, but some contact in turn 1. I mean, it's rallycross again, so you can expect that in a tight corner like this, but I guess the wheel alignment was completely wrong. I had massive understeer the whole run. My gear indicator didn't work, so I didn't know what gears I were in, so a lot of small issues, which meant we couldn't get the pace that we should have. And I mean, it's just so frustrating when you start off the day so well with pure pace, and then when you come into the races you're struggling like this. But again, I think we can be happy with the pace what we have on track. We just need to be having a clean race, and hopefully we can fight back tomorrow, because we deserve to be higher up in the standings than we are at the moment. So let's hope the guys can fix the car for tomorrow and we race again.
Well done, though. Thank you.
Anton, not well, you just tell there's like frustration there, and he'll be annoyed now, Dan, because now he's got to wait till tomorrow. You have a bit of a sucky Q1 and you get it done in Q2, but when you got to wait overnight, it's like, grr, you want to go and do it. You know, if he could do Q3 this afternoon and clear his head, but now he's got potentially 14 hours of.
Yeah, he's got to try and sleep on that now, and he's going to be, you know, going for food later, and you know, going to bed, and yeah, he's talking with the team, and it's always going to be in the back of his mind, and it's just going to play on him now.
I want to do better. It's still, to be fair, 2:32.2 is still a good time. You know, it puts him puts him 7th in the session. Another look at the start here.
We'll see Ollie Bennett come around the outside, and that's the contact with Paillet on his inside and Bennett on the outside for Markland that knocked his steering alignment out of place, and Bennett then beached in the gravel, can't get going again. And look at it from another angle, see it slow motion, they come in, quite a hard contact there. Paillet's up on the curb and really leaning on Markland, and then another bit of contact again as they come towards the exit of the corner. See it from another angle.
So he did actually touch Markland, didn't he? Just a tiny, tiny bit at the side. Well, so we've got more viewers coming in, Australia, all sorts of different places. One viewer, it's certain Jay Christopherson, Johan, double world champion, current world champion still. He's watching with his son, Colin. Colin's got the crash helmet on. He says he's ready to take over. So I'm sure there'll be some drivers here who'll be very fearful of when the Christopherson name returns to this championship. But I hope we get to see you again soon, Johan. So, yeah, stay in touch. Get back here. Shisha it. Sneaks the car into neutral, rests off the clutch. Doran in P2. These guys, I think, are the only two left now who can challenge that top time of Baciuska. So Jonathan Paillet inside, Liam Doran and Gulan Shishiri. 17th and 18th. Do you know what? They have to challenge the time, Dan. It's not even a case of, you know, could they? They have to, because in P17, 18, unless you get now like a P1 to 5, for me, you're struggling tomorrow.
Yeah, they've really got to pull it out of the bag and try not to get into each other now into turn 1.
Right. Paillet, Doran, Shishiri. Doran with a mega start. Absolutely fantastic. Point 1. Surely gets the lights again, but Doran gets the whole shot ahead of Shishiri. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's definitely getting the lights again, isn't it? Not quite Shiner style, but still enough. And he had the gap before he even, you know, got to the end of the white lines here.
Now, we've had a question about start lights coming. I think we should talk about it, to be fair. Shishiri now goes off to the right-hand side. So back here, years ago, the drivers could see the start and press the button. So sometimes they were watching for the guy pressing the button, not for the lights to take the start. When it became a World Championship, we standardised the start procedures. The lights come with us. They're controlled by Hungarian timekeepers. It's all random. So when the ready-to-race light goes out, there is a gap of between 2 and 7 seconds in which the lights will go green. It's random. Nobody knows what it is, only the computer. And, it, you know, I say it's random. So you get a start like Scheider or a start like Doran's, you guessed it. But that's a good guess.
Yeah, very good guess. And I saw him start to creep, and then he just went for it. And luckily, when he went for it, the lights went green.
Shishiri's got lucky there because Paillet's gone Joker. I thought Shishiri it was strange that he jokered so early for me, because jokering that early meant he was going to be behind Paillet. We know the McCann's got good pace here. So Shishiri has gone Joker early. What sort of lap times are we doing, Dan? 36.7.
36.3 on that last lap.
That's better.
Yeah, so that's 3 tenths off of Baciuszka's fastest, but it's in and around what everybody else is doing at that level.
Okay, so it's about consistency and it's about the joke lap, and we know that Baciuszka's joke lap was absolutely brilliant. Backward at the minute is in P3. He was doing a 36.0. 36.2s. There's a lot of people doing 36.2s. Doran's out front. Sideways. Keep the car straight. Watch for Liam through this long right-hander. I was watching it this morning. He's very much more patient. Danny has to drive his car differently than he used to drive his DS3.
Yeah, of course, it's set up by Matthias Ekstrom, a circuit racer. Like to drive it, with all the wheels pointing in the same direction rather than having it sideways. And Liam's having to really adapt his style to make it work for him.
Doran into the Joker. Shisharit's already been. He's 2.2 back. Or Shisharit round the outside. Doran should have enough time to shut the door. He does push the car wide. Now it's about half far up the timesheets these guys can get. Shisharit on board with him now. A little bit of handbrake into the right-hander. Wait. Now on the throttle over the line. 2:31.1 for Doran goes fourth. Shisharit 2:31.9. That's going to see him, fifth or sixth, I think. Into sixth. Well, no, it would be, but of course Doran's ahead, so seventh. But that's great times by both those guys. So Doran and Shisharit did well. Liam, an unbelievable start. We now need a split screen of Liam, Timo, and the lights twice, don't we? Go on, lads, get on that in the truck. But hopefully we'll be able to get a look at Liam's like we did with Timo's, because point one, I say, we think the limit is point. They're on it apparently. I've just been told the truck's on it. The TV truck is on it. Photos of Liam Doran at the British Bomb over in France. Liam Doran takes it with a 2:31.1. Shisharit and Payet second and third. Doran and Shisharit were in 17th and 18th, but don't forget ahead of them, Bennett's had a retirement, Cyril Raimondo's had a retirement. We've had a couple of people not go so well. How far up will that fourth and that seventh see them go? You can see on board with Shisharit now towards turn one. Doran into the corner ahead of him, having had that brilliant start.
You could see that Liam was already moving before Shisharit even released the clutch.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have to find out a bit more about this, aren't we? Like, if Scheider and Doran, they can't cheat the lights. They've just both got lucky. Just that Loiac was a famous place for cheating the lights. But there you go. Good drive by Liam Doran. Really good. Decent joker too. Shisharit seeing Liam Doran come out in front, been looking at the rear wing the whole way through. A couple of nips on the handbrake, but Liam Doran has done his chances. No harm there at all.
Liam, that was like a superhuman start. 0.08 of a second reaction time. How did you do that?
Well, superhuman's what I needed after that terrible showing in Q1. So I felt terrible after Q1. I mean, I felt quite comfortable in the car, but it was appalling as far as the standard we should be driving these cars. It almost embarrassed myself, but I had no other choice but to take a massive risk on Q2. I couldn't get behind anyone, so I guess actually that the eventual start was about my third go at trying to start. I just needed to get on with it, and I just about got away with it, I think. So it's one of those things. So when I needed it, it worked, and it paid off. All right, I didn't go fast enough, but top five, a fourth, I think. This is more than enough to go from 17th to fourth in one fell swoop. So got work to do tomorrow now, but that's a bit of a confidence booster for tomorrow.
Well done, it was a risk that paid off. Thank you.
Huge risk. That's like massive. That's like all in. Liam Doran's gone all in. We've got another split screen. They've been working hard in the truck. Let's take a look at Liam Doran's start. So watch for the green. We're going to go frame by frame. Liam Doran should move pretty much. Look at that. He's moving. Go on. Look at that. You can see the wheel spinning. Watch Liam Doran's wheel up close. Watch this. He's moving. He's guessed that. I mean, he knows. He said, basically that has absolutely paid off.
Such a risky gamble, isn't it?
Massively. Massively. But great. So Liam is going to see if he can. How many races? We've got one more race to go in World. Say him and Shisharit were a long way down, but with the problems they've had ahead, at the end of this session, we'll have an overall table for you, which will show you where everyone is. Three cars in this final encounter: Yanni Parsonen, Matvej Farazkin and Herve Napik. So Matvej Farazkin is here in the ES Motorsport Skoda. I think we're waiting on confirmation of who's going to do Latvia. I can't remember. I'm sure Kevin Abring is coming down to South Africa at the end of the season. Yes, with a few different drivers this year, but it's been good to see that the car's been on the pace. Farazkin hopefully can have a better run this time. Good start, but Parson's got a great side as well. Farazkin going to try and go around the outside. Herve Napik turns in across them. Parson sideways on the curb. Farazkin's inside the turn two. Hit the tyre barrier there last time. This time it's Parsonen who gets a little nudge. Now they'll need to keep him out because unless Herve Napik goes Joker now, they won't want him in behind Herve. And Herve does go Joker now, so that's going to open the door for Farazkin to go if he wants to, if he's quicker than Parsonen.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll probably see Farazkin go in on the next lap just so he gets that bit of free space to you know, still learn the sport. You know, he's come from autocross, which is very similar, as you said before, the similar machinery and so on and so forth. But yeah, we'll probably see him go in, although he has dropped back.
Yeah, he's 0.7 off. You could argue he could follow Parsonen, but I don't know that Parsonen, a brilliant driver, it's not like following, say, one of the Hansons in terms of, you know, but yeah, he goes Joker. You know what I mean? There's a value in following someone who's been in rallycross for a long time, particularly at a circuit like this, or if there's somewhere where there's a bit of a trick to a good time. Oh, Farazkin, so sideways, right out to the wall. So, yeah, you would maybe follow someone with more experience, Dan. There are times when you go, I'm just going to follow this dude and learn.
Yeah, there is times where you definitely have to do that, you know, especially if you come somewhere like a new circuit, you do that, or for him, you know, a new discipline, where you latch on to the person that is the pace setter and you try and copy every single thing they do.
I'm interested to see what Kevin Abring would do. I'm sure, he did Norway and Sweden, didn't he? And both times we had some wet weather, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what Kevin would do fully dry with this car. You know, it may be that it just doesn't necessarily suit the characteristics of a certain circuit. Or Parsonen's going to drop that, is he? Just about holds on. Lap times are not up with the top guys, so Parsonen coming through with 1 lap to go. Farazkin now's got to try and stick a pass on him. A pass on him on Parsonen. Say that on purpose. If he's going to look anywhere, it'll be at the hairpin at the end here, but to be honest, Danny might as well follow him home.
Yeah, may as well follow it. It's not worth, you know, putting a bit more damage on the car, because, you know, they hit the tyre bale in the first race and he's already taken a headlight cover off, I can see in this one as well, so it's not worth trying to make a move that isn't really going to bump you up the table too much.
Yeah, going to cost you time, potentially, and maybe parts. Parsonen going to take the last race off Q2 in World RX. It was fastest first, remember. We're going to have our spinner of doom in a minute and find out what's going to happen in the morning. Trying to think what the running order is for the morning when the world guys go in terms of the schedule, how clean the track will be. Parsonen's time 2:35.5. Yeah, not going to trouble the top 8. So quick guys are done and gone. We've still got some more racing to come before we're off air this afternoon. IRX2 is coming up next. We're heading on to Q3 for them. Ollie Eriksson has got the job done so far. Parsonen, Farazkin and Napik. I don't think you're going to see them on the front page. You're not. There's your top 8. All right, Dan Lectar, Kevin Hansen. So Kevin Hansen was 12th in this one. I'm looking to see the standings after this session. That's the ones I'm really keen to see. So Napik with a bit of contact. Farazkin going well around the outside. I think Farazkin coming from autocross, a bit like you did, Dan, is, you know, at least you've got some racing in you.
Yeah, so you got the racing and you got the loose surface experience, which is what you really need. I mean, not necessarily this track, but it means you can hold on to situations like that.
Yeah, yeah, that was a situation. Houston, we have a situation at Lowiak. Yeah. But I wonder if the guys maybe will be looking at the data and going, look, you're a little bit too sideways here, you're a little bit too early on the throttle. But it's hard. It's a really hard thing to learn to do. So Parsonen, definitely a little bit too sideways there, but full send mode.
Yanni, must be nice to get a heat win. Maybe a little bit sideways at times.
Yeah, it's of course nice to win, but we a little bit changed the setup, and I'm not very comfortable now, and I must go back the free practice what we have, and I think tomorrow is then I'm more comfortable, but it's okay. Quite tough fighting, but that's the rallycross.
Well done, thank you. And Kitos.
Here are the standings at the end of Q2, and Rokas Baciuska is the overnight TQ. So that is the first time he's won a session and the first time he's been the overnight TQ for sure. Absolutely brilliant. Baciuska, in his first season in Supercar, has got the job done here at Loiak. Topi Heikkinen is second. You can see he missed it by 1 point, Topi did, although in fact it would have got, even if they were equal, it would have gone Baciuska's way because it goes to the winner of the last session. Timo Scheider in third place, great performance. Timmy Hansen, look, up in fourth. Andreas Backerud is fifth. Then we got two more of the Hyundais, Grono and Timoziano. So three of the Hyundais, all three of the Hyundais in the top seven. Balmanis is eighth. Page two. Doran up into ninth place. Liam Doran has climbed from 17th to 9th with that performance, getting, I think, what was he, fourth in the session? He was. And Tom Markland is 10th. Kevin Hansen actually goes up a place, does he? Or does he? No, he goes down a place. So Kevin was 10th, drops down to 11th. He's going to want to have a better day tomorrow, particularly because, look, behind him you can swallow. He's on very equal points, look, with Doran, Markland, Hansen, Sabo. And then behind Fabian Paya and Gulan Shisharit. Shisharit needs another good result to stick himself into the semi-finals. I think Kevin will be okay because looking at it further down, you can see there's a little bit of a points gap, but he can't afford to have another couple of bad runs, and he's going to want to be further up the grid than that if he's going up against Timmy Hansen and Andreas Backerud. So, of course, Q2 done. Q3 is tomorrow morning. I can't find the running order right now. We've been a bit busy. But we saw the track was still developing down today in Q1, we think, which was 12:50 local time. I know Q3 is in the morning, and, you know, they weren't really watering the track overnight. Temperatures dropping here from mid-20s to, 12 degrees overnight, so we're getting a lot of dew. So, potentially, this could be crucial.
Yeah, we've seen it be super slippy on the start of the day on the Sunday, haven't we, in the past? So if the grids are reversed, that could really turn things on its head.
It could. So let's have a look. Here we go. It's time for the spinner of doom. Ta-da! Right. Okay. So here we go. Okay. Is it going to be fastest first or slowest first? Oh, I think it's going to be fastest first. It is. It's fastest first. So, there we go. It's the spinner of doom. There you go. It's doom for a number of reasons, but particularly it's doom for those guys who are fast, Dan. So fastest first. I'm trying to see results-wise. So Baciuska, Scheider, Backerud, Doran, Gronon will be in the first one. Then we've got Heikkinen, Shisharit, Hansen. They'll be in the second one with a couple more. So fastest guys are going to go first. If the track's developing tomorrow morning like it was today, that could well see some of the guys who are out having a bit of a result and maybe managing to get themselves a little bit further forward. So, yeah. One man is going to be out very early then, of course, is our overnight TQ, and the winner of Q2, Rokas Baciuska.
Yeah, Rokas, the Rocket Baciuska, I think we're going to call him now. Did you, when you were coming to France, did you imagine you'd be top qualifier at the end of day one?
For the moment, no, but for now, yes. You know, all the guys were strong, you know. First years, everybody is already competitor, already drive 3 years, and difficult to competitor. But now I did. Loiak is the best track in my life because last year also I was super 60,000, was fast, but in the final I burned the clutch. But yeah, day is done. We are P1. Tomorrow is another day.
And the car, obviously you're comfortable in it at the moment. Have you made any setup changes? Any damage on it?
Yeah, we make little bit change. The car is more stiffy, you know, like a more secret, not soft, and that's its help. Why we are P1.
Yeah, it's good to have a more stiffy. So, and we've just had the spinner, so it is fastest first. So you'll be in the first race tomorrow morning.
Again, it's not good, but I hopefully tomorrow they don't put the water like last year. It was mess. Like I don't know, the Joker was the faster.
Okay. And has the boss, Gulan Shisharit, had a word with you to say well done?
Yeah, he said, I proud you. It's nice to hear from the boss. Really thank you for him because he invited. Because in the middle of the season we have some issues, and he said we will prepare your car, and you see the car is going.
Well, look, there's a Lithuanian flag flying in the background. Maybe a couple of words to your fans watching back at home.
Yeah. Ačiū jums visiems lietuviai. Tai Rygoj pasimatysim. Tai iki pasimatymo.
There we go. Thank you very much. Well done. Enjoy this, but get a good rest and head back on tomorrow.
I hope. See you.
Well done. Thank you very much. Back to you guys up in the commentary booth.
Sure, I reckon that last word was maximum. I'm afraid I don't speak any Lithuanian, but I'm sure that last word was maximum. What do you reckon?
Pass.
Okay, but he's happy, and he should be, because that's an amazing performance. So he started the year with ES. They parted ways. They said it was an amicable split. He didn't do an event. Then he came back in the third Megane, and it's not of the same spec. In theory, the newer cars should be the better spec. He's absolutely nailed it. I mean, it was a 2:39.3. He was 1.1 faster than Scheider, and I tell you what, Scheider's right up there as well.
Yeah, really good job, isn't it? And of course, they're developing 3 cars through the weekend, aren't they? Trying to get extra data. So, well, the same as Bachushka, 3 cars. So they can really work on trying to get the perfect setup for each individual person to really bump it up there. And I guess having that extra data can really help.
We are heading towards Q3 for RX2. They've got their Q3 today, then they're on to Q4 tomorrow morning. There's a few cars doing a bit of drifting out on circuit. There's a BMW, a Porsche, and another BMW. In fact, they've got blue lights on a couple of them. I don't think the 5.0 are here, but it's
the French Rosas.
Yes, it's like a proper police chase going on out on the track there. We've had the fighter jets over already. So here you go. Yes, one of them's got a police light. The back one, there it is. It's kind of like, I don't know what era you guys are from. I don't know, Starsky and Hutch, The Bill. There's a very English reference for our international viewers. I don't know. NYPD Blue, anything with police chasing bad guys in it. I like it.
I'm a bit confused, though, because we've got the Porsche looking like Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, and he's not a bad guy, he's a hero.
No, he's a good guy.
Oh, now the police are doing donuts. Go on.
Reckless driving.
Get in. No, I like it. He's going to book himself. There's loads of activities you can do here at Lowiak. There's an absolutely beautiful museum, literally behind the commentary box. It's amazing. There's everything in there, from Group B rally cars to rallycross cars. There's a land speed records boat, I think, hanging outside it. It's huge, isn't it, Dan? I've never managed to get around the whole thing. F1 cars, rare cars. It's incredible. It's called the Le Manoir Automobile, and you can find it if you look at Lowiak. Just Google Lowiak on Google, clearly. Have a look at other search engines available. Have a look on Google Maps. You'll find Manoir Automobile. That's next door, so you need an extra day for that. So I'd say come out Thursday, maybe Friday. Do the museum in the morning, off to the parade in the afternoon, few jars, watch the cars, free practice Friday night, and then the whole rest of the weekend watching rallycross. Can't go wrong, really.
Yeah, I wish we could get away with that one, mate?
Neil Cole is in the pre-grid with Albert Levera as we get ready to go racing for RX2 Q3.
Yeah, so in this live stream, we've had RX2 Q2, and we've come all the way around to RX2 Q3. Let's have a quick word with Albert Levera. Now, Albert, it's great to talk to you. I haven't spoken to you yet this weekend. Hello.
Okay, hi, hello.
In Q2, you seem to get a really good launch. Yeah. The launch has really paid off today.
Well, we're working a little bit with the clothes because usually I use the disabled clothes, and now I change a little bit with the Italian people. He working about this, and now it's a little bit more faster, and my hands and my fingers, he working too more faster.
That's brilliant. And you're currently, I think, on the cusp of the semi-final positions going into Q3. What's the strategy in your race?
Well, now I stay in this Q3 with the really good drivers, and I think so. It's I'm looking for the time. No, I'm sure I am rear, but I don't know. Maybe we have some problems, or some pilot has some strategy, and I think so. I stay rear, and I hope to go for the time, for nice time.
Good luck. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
There you go, that's the museum. I really didn't realise how little of it I've managed to get round. I've made it down about 1/3 of that building, just taking loads and loads of photos. And you go in there every year and you take photos of the same things, and you never get any further into the museum. It's It's huge, as you can see. And behind that is a go-kart track. There's a drift circuit. There were a load of people out drifting yesterday. Now they're watering the track. You can see the campsites in the background, so you can camp at Lowiac. You can bring a motor home. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Our director says it looks like his holiday villa. I don't think it was quite that big, and certainly not full of quite so many Group B rally cars and rallycross cars. But right, 3-car race to start us off with RX2. We've got people in here that you wouldn't expect to see in here. Damien Mounier, Fraser McConnell and William Nilsson. So Nilsson 14th, McConnell 8th, and Damien Mounier, where is Mounier? Okay, I can't quite see. Oh, he's in 10th. So these guys all had their various issues. Mounier doesn't get away as well as Nilsson and McConnell. McConnell's got the inside line here. So Fraser, of course, had broken suspension, didn't he, last time? And if I remember correctly, Nilsson ended up backwards in turn 1, didn't he, with Olofsson?
Yeah, and I think Nilsson actually got a reprimand for that incident. So maybe I personally thought he would have maybe had enough of a punishment ending up backwards in the gravel, but obviously stewards have decided that maybe he needs a bit more. But yeah, Fraser got unlucky, didn't he, with the scrabble in through turns 1 and 2, breaking the car. But now he got through cleanly with the 3-car race, and he's taking control at the moment.
Yeah, he'll have to get his head down now. So Fraser's out front. He can do what he wanted to do. After Q1, he won his Q1 race, didn't he? And he said, yeah, I have to win the race, but I need to find some lap time. It's his first time here at Lowiac, but he's got some some pretty impressive people to draw experience from. So I think he said Kevin Eriksson spotting for him. Obviously he'll have information, I'm sure, from Ollie Eriksson if he needs it. He's not in the direct championship fight with Ollie. So they'll be looking at data, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. And I know that Olsbergs is a team that really highly promotes the drivers sharing as much as they can together to try and find the best lap. I mean, it's no I can't think of the word I'm looking for. It's
been
secret.
A long session, mate, don't worry.
It's no secret that obviously everybody working together gets the time tumbling down for each of the cars.
Yeah, if you're willing to share your data, but there's a crunch point, isn't there, or there's a pinch point in a championship where you maybe wouldn't share the information if you felt that it was super close between you and one of your competitors.
Yeah, so it would be if, say, you were fighting for a championship or something like that. Although I know last year when Oliver Eriksson and Guillaume de Ridder were fighting for the championship, I think they did still share, a bit of the data. Still very good friends, So that's something that Olsberg's MSC does really push for, is for the guys to learn together, share together, and get a really good bond.
When you look at the results, you see when the likes of Solberg and Kristoffersen share, or Faust and Speed, you can all gain something off somebody else. I think if you reach a point where you're like, I've got nothing to learn, it's A bit arrogant, and B, not that clever. There's always something to learn, I think, isn't there? So McConnell's going to take this. 2:38.2. Oliver Eriksson's won the last. Yeah, it's good time. So Oliver's won the last session with a 2:37.6, and P2 was a 2:39.0. So that would have been good enough for Fraser McConnell to take P2 in Q2, and in Q1 it would have been enough for the win. So that's a great drive by Fraser McConnell. Is the track a little bit quicker? We didn't think it was developing that much, but maybe if the temperatures come up a little bit, it is. 23.7 here, track temp 28.9. The second between McConnell and Nilsson. Damien Mounier less than a second off the back of that, so 2 seconds covering these three. Another look back. Mounier with a slow start, I'm afraid, but that gave McConnell the inside line. Nilsson gave a bit of space there. Mounier almost had to look up the inside, but not quite.
Yeah, so Mounier really didn't get the jump, did he? A bit slow on the reactions there, but McConnell is the man of this one, wasn't he?
More maturity from McConnell as well. I know we've spoken about it. We've been watching him quite closely, obviously, from ARX2. Then this year he's doing ARX2 and RX2. So I've been seeing a lot of him, and it just the way he's developing as a driver, sensible head, bad Q2, nail it in Q3.
Fraser, the team clearly did a good job to fix up the car after Q2, but you did a great job out there. That was a good time.
Yeah, man, thank you. They got a little damage in the second corner of the last qualifying run, so we got knocked down the standings pretty badly, but we're fighting back to get as high as we can. I felt really fast. I don't think I could have done much more, but then again, I'm happy where I am, and the OMSC guys did all they could to get me back out there. So,
well done.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Fraser looking very happy. I don't know what him and Neil were having a laugh about before we came on air, but I will be sure to ask later on. Talking of asking, we were asking you guys for questions earlier. We get a bit busy sometimes, so we can't do them through all the races, and we want to follow the action as well. Couple which came in, which driver would you like to return to World RX? I've got 3 immediately. I'd like to see Larsen, Nittish and Häkkinen back. Good to see Häkkinen back this weekend. Solberg, Kristoffersson, Loeb, Ekstrom. No, I mean, I'm joking. You know, people move on. People like Pet has decided, you know, enough. But then, you know, younger Solberg doing a bit of rallying. Could we see him do a bit of rallycross? Maybe I'd like to see Oliver come and have a go. There's a few drivers in Nordic down. There's tons of drivers. So you kind of, you know, we'd like them all back, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, but there's only so much of the, so many cars we can have, isn't there, on the grid? But
I'm sure we can make room if we've got those names. I mean, Villeneuve, of course, we had came across. Martin Shanker, our director, says, well, yeah, we'd like that. So being Pat Duran, Will Gollop, no, being realistic right now, you know, I think the guys who would be likely are Larsen, Nittish, Häkkinen. Yeah, Häkkinen's still taking part in Rallycross, so are Larsen and Nittish. Obviously, it's about things like budgets. You know, Ekstrom, you may have noticed, has made an interesting move in the last week. He was with Audi, and he's just signed with Cupra, which is Seat's performance brand, and will be one of their e-racing ambassadors. He's going to be doing some development work, I think, on the ETCR. It's not really been made clear if he's going to race or not. But I don't know, could we see Cupra? You know, would they be interested in doing electric rallycross? If that happens, would we see Matthias come back? He's got great experience in that category. So, you know, Kristoffersson, I know, you know, we know Johan's off being a professional driver with Volkswagen, but I know he loves this sport, and I'd love to see Johan come back. It's a bit of me now because everything's so close. Look at the pace in Canada. The Subarus were quicker than World by a tenth, maybe. That means they were quicker than the Beetles. The Beetles were a similar pace to the Polo, and everybody in World was a similar pace to the Subaru. So actually, this year, it's like the other teams have taken a step roughly to where the Volkswagens were. So I kind of, you know, you'd almost like the Volkswagen Polo to come back for an event and see, but
I'm sure they wouldn't be returning without doing a lot of development, though, would they?
No, exactly. They'd have done something. But
Volkswagen Motorsport we're talking about.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because it's trying to compare drivers from eras. You know, how would Will Gollop have got on in this era? You can't. It's like you can't compare Fangio to Senna because it wasn't the same era.
No, exactly.
The other question was who would we like to see? I'm sure it said who we'd like to see make a debut, and I think we spoke about this earlier in the season. I'm really keen to attract. I'm really keen to attract fans to this sport who haven't seen it, because I strongly believe that we appeal as a sport to rally fans, for instance, and to race fans. And I mean racing across the board. Yeah, things like F1. F1 fans get frustrated. Olofsson leading from Nasha, obviously, and Vakela, they've all jokered. Lap times 30, not quite down with McConnell's lap time, so not expecting them to go top. I believe more people would love this sport if they saw it. I don't know how we need you guys to spread the word, really. Make sure you share Rallycross at home, and I genuinely mean that. I'd love to see more people. We mentioned to you earlier, we have the biggest interaction rate with our fans. Olofsson takes it of any of the world motorsports, and that is incredible, and it's a credit to you guys that watch at home. So do interact, but please share. I want more people to see this fantastic sport, and I think a way we would do that is to get, we could do with a MotoGP rider doing it, we could do with an XF1 driver doing it, you know, because then you attract that audience with their fan base, and then they go, you know, this is rad, I've never seen this before. How have I never seen this before? Then they tell some friends, and we get this brilliant sport growing even quicker than it already is.
Yeah, it would be great to see. So what you're saying there is we need Rossi,
yeah,
and we need Jenson.
It's got to be done with bikes soon, and Button, come on, Jenson, or Alonso, like, you know, he's driving his trophy truck in America. I know he's busy, they've had a baby recently, congratulations, but we still want you to come and do some rallycross. Olofsson takes it from Nasha and Vakela. They go 4, 5, 6. So that first race was quick. Fraser McConnell in particular, very fast. 2 races to go before we wrap for today. Good start by Vakela in the middle, but drops back. Nasha on the inside. The Olofsson trying to be brave around the outside, but didn't in turn 1. So Olofsson coming out from the Joker. Joker in early. Nasha in front. And then when he went Joker, you can see here Olofsson had done enough to get past. So decent lap times, I say, but not quite on the pace of the top guys. 10 cars still to come. I think we'll see the 3 drivers that are in this one will be spread through the field. I'm expecting Olofsson to be there or thereabouts.
Simon, a good Joker strategy and a good race win. How was it for you?
We took not the best start, but we took the Joker and we kept a good speed through the whole qualifying. So we're happy with it.
Well done, thank you.
5 in this one. See Volders in the grid already. Albert Oliveira, who we spoke to before the race, saying he'd been working on the hand controls to get the clutch response a bit faster. He was an Olympic skier, Oliveira, before he had a back injury, which means he drives with hand controls. Drives brilliant. He's a lovely bloke too. Does loads of stuff with charities and things, and goes and does inspirational speaking. He's done the Dakar, he's done rallying, S2000 cars. I'm sure I'd have put into S2000. You can see this car's dressed up a little like a Fiat as well. It's a standard body shell across the board for RX2. All the panels the same on all the cars, made of the same stuff, in the same shape. But you remember Kevin Hansen dressed his car up like a Peugeot. We've had, was it Nilsson that had it in a VW livery, and we've got Al Oliveira with a Fiat livery. And he's quicker off the line, definitely, than was Michalak, all squeezing Vasily Grimes in contact there. Liosek gets nosed out. Al Oliveira's going to get into third here. He does, slots across. So it's Grimes in behind Volders.
Yeah, Grimes in there, prying the door open to make sure that he could get up through, and Liosek is the loser in that one as he dives off to the Joker lap. And Albert Oliveira, yeah, like you said, his start system is definitely faster, isn't it? And he's able to keep it up there with him.
Good, that's what we want to see. Brilliant that he's in this sport with us. Boulder's car just grounding out a tiny bit. Dan, we see these cars sometimes need to pick up a wheel and kind of set up thing.
I mean, they tend to have a lot of weight in the back, obviously, the mid-engine cars. And yeah, if you set the car up to roll over on the rear, trying to get a bit more rear-end grip, you will see the front pick up.
Only Liosek has joking. He's coming up now behind Oliveira, so he'll be hoping that Oliveira goes soon. Boulders and Grimes in, gapping the guys behind. Lap time 39.1. That's off the start for Steve Boulders, so this will be a better idea as they come across the line. Boulders with a 38.1, Grimes in a 38.3, so that's more like it. 38.5s for Liosek and Michalak. Could see them up with Marsha's time, which was 5th. Liosek looking really racy now. I think he might have a look at Oliveira in the background. Down he goes wide and Oliveira goes tight. So Oliveira's gone Joker, as has Vasily Grimes in. Vasily all the curb.
Yeah, full commitment there, wasn't it? So I think that was a good Joker lap there from Vasily as he comes out back in front of Michalak already. So
yeah, tidy on the stopwatches to see that gap and make sure he's slotted into it. Boulders, Michalak to Joker on this last lap. Grounding out again just as he comes over the crest at the end of the straight. Little hot jump for Boulders. He's chasing the time, as I say, of Fraser McConnell, 2:38.2, but he's not due. Yeah, 37.8 from Boulders on lap 3. So that's a great lap time. That's brilliant.
yeah, that's matching Oliver Ericsson's pace on that one. So
Boulders could take this. Coming round to stop the clocks. I think he might. 39.3 doesn't, 1.1 off. So he got a brilliant lap in there. And in fact, he goes P3. So Nilsson quicker than him as well. 39.9.
Liosek off into the tyre barriers there. Second to last corner.
And now trying to find reverse. What's the process to reverse it in these, Dan? Is it clunk it forward from neutral, or is it like you have to pull a cable?
Pull a cable. You tend to go into it from first gear. So even if you're spinning in neutral with the clutch out, you have to make sure you go into first gear before you go forwards down into reverse. Otherwise, you can damage the gear in the gearbox, the reverse gear, because the gearbox is already spinning in the wrong direction effectively, if you like. So when they engage first, it stops the gearbox, and then you can push it through to reverse.
Love a bit of tech insight. Well done, rookie. Volders wins from Gryazin, Lovera, Michalak. Jan Lejosek at DNF. Doesn't look like he could get the car out the barrier, and indeed they got a rope out there to tow him out. Volders and Gryazin go P3 and P4. Fraser McConnell still leads. Is McConnell going to take the session? Just having a look. He took a session in Spain, but that's the last time he won a session was Spain at the start of the year. So McConnell trying to take a session now. We can see the lap times are good because we just saw Steve Volders, I say, dip into the 37s. Neil Cole's with him now.
Steve, well, this is the second time I've spoken to you in this live stream, so that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, it is okay. The start was good. But first, I must say to Dimitri and all my supporters, thank you for the coming and for the sponsoring. Thank you. It was a nice race.
It was a good race. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dimitri.
Another look at the start. Volders on the inside, down to turn one. A little bit of contact there. Lejosek was unlucky there, wasn't he?
Yeah, just getting hung out. It's contact between Volders, Gryazin and Michalak just all triggered on to one another and pushed Lejosek out wide. Gryazin using all the curb on his Joker, again managing to come out in front of Michalak again.
Got another Gryazin still to come, of course. Nikolai Gryazin, who was fantastic in the previous session. He was second, wasn't he? I think it was in the previous session.
Lining up on P2 beside Oliver Eriksson for this next one.
Can Eriksson take another session win? Make it 3 out of 3. That would really be stamping his authority on it. That'd be disappointing for his championship rival, Jesse Kallio. Kallio isn't going to make it easy for him because he's in this one as well.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Gryazin develops through the weekend. We've got the top man in RX2 and the top man currently in WRC2 lined up next to each other.
Support category for the World Rally and the World Rallycross Championship. Perhaps he could do like a double one and you know, win them both. I suspect there's a few clashes, unfortunately, so it's probably not going to happen, is it?
No.
Here comes Eriksson. Unstoppable Eriksson. We were talking earlier, weren't we, about drives. I want to see Ollie Eriksson in a supercar, absolutely, like in world.
Yeah.
Euro, fine, that'll do, but I want to see him up here in a supercar.
Yeah, I believe he's leading the Nordic series in the supercar.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine seeing him in world. I want to see Kevin Eriksson back. I want to see Sebastian Eriksson with a full-time drive. Yoni Weeman.
100%, yeah.
So many. I need a Euro Millions win, but I need a big one.
What, so you're not going to drive yourself?
I'm in 100%. I'll get all these drivers in. We'll do some sort of deal, get a big team up. I'll have a car. I'll tool around in like P30, but having a great time. And I don't know, it's all great fun. Apparently you're going to commentate, Dan.
Oh, great.
Do you want to be in a car?
Who said that?
Working with one of the guys in my ear.
Oh, yeah.
Right, here we go. Eriksson, Gryazin, Kallio, Trogan and Gunderson. A very even start, as you'd expect, between the top championship players. Kallio going to try and get round the outside. What a move. That's Gunderson round the outside. Kallio in the middle of the pack. It's that the devilishly similar liveries, as you can see at the front and the back. Kallio's actually in the fully other end of the pack. Down in P5, yeah. Oh, into the joke lap. Oliver Eriksson is inside Sami Matti Trogan as they go over the jump. And he gets Trogan, so Eriksson's got the first part of the job done, but Gunderson, what a start from the outside.
Yeah, fantastic job that, wasn't it? He got the speed off the line and just went for it around the outside, and then Gryazin up the inside of Ollie Eriksson. Ollie then having to go to the Joker lap to dip out of the battle, but now he's already up to the back of Kallio, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to find some time.
You send Gunderson right now. That's what you do. You send Gunderson immediately to respond to Eriksson. That's what I would do. I don't think they get him. So, I mean, they're obviously confident he's got the pace, but there you go. You see, been released released Kallio straight into the Joker lap. That releases Ericsson.
Yeah, so he's got that clear track now, hasn't he, back to Gryzin, so...
Tons of clear track, plenty enough to close that gap down. It was 2.3, look, you're looking at the gap between Gunnarsson and Ericsson as Trogan is up the inside of Jesse Kallio. Two guys who've come up through RX Academy. So Oliver Ericsson's got the gap at 2.2. So Gunnarsson's doing a great job of holding him off here. It was a fantastic start. He's going to stay out to the end. Gryzin goes. So Gryzin has gone and he's got 1.1 on Ericsson. I don't think that'll be enough. I think Ericsson will come around the outside. He does. Cool. Ericsson hanging it all out. It's nearly enough. Gryzin trying to hold on for the inside line in the last corner, but he gets in the dirt and he can't quite do it. So Ericsson is second, but 2.2 is enough for Gunnarsson.
Yeah, he's long in front, isn't he? Unless he's back to 2.1 now, so maybe Ericsson can pull it in, but I'm not sure he's going to do it.
Ballsy move from the spotters to say stay out. You know, obviously we know he's fast enough, but it's still ballsy because for me the response is to cover him off anyway if you know you've got the gap. But they're like, no, do you know what, we're going to leave him out front, nothing to worry about to do on the last lap, and there you can see he's clearly got it done. I still might have gone early, but there you go, we're not spotting. Not this weekend anyway. Gunnarsson is going to take this one. Is he going to take the session? The time of McConnell was 2:38.2. 2:37.7, he's done it. So he goes half a second ahead. Gunnarsson 2:37.7. Means Fraser McConnell is going to be second in this one. Can't win the session. Oliver Ericsson, I think, will be third, but we'll bring the standings in just a moment. Hewitt car's coming back. The Yosek's car, unfortunately, broken on a flatbed. Gunnarsson, Oliver Ericsson, Gryzin, Sami-Matti Trogan, Jesse Kallio. There's where they slot in. Oliver Ericsson goes third. Ben-Philip Gunnarsson takes Q3. Fraser McConnell with a great recovery from that busted suspension in Q2. Manages to hold on Nikolai Gryzin, beaten by Vasily this time. Volders and Nilsson up in fourth and fifth. Sami-Matti Trogan in eighth place. Off the start, look at Gunnarsson on the outside. I think I looked up at the graphic, which is in grid order when they're on the grid, and then goes to reaction time order as they go off, at which time you can't look at anything. That was brave by Gunnarsson.
Yeah, very brave. If he just had a tiny tap on his back end, he would have been, going backwards into the gravel trap. So a lot of trust in his position on the road.
Lick the stamp and send it. Basically, that wasn't it? Just in we go. So Trogan was unlucky to be on the outside of Ericsson there. There we go. Well, you guys at home are watching the replays. There's a few Group B Rallycross cars heading around the track at the moment, so they've just roared off the start line. You can hear that in the background. This was Ericsson getting past Gryzin. Pretty key, actually, in terms of times. Gryzin out in the dirt there, I think lost a bit of time just getting offline. But this was Gunnarsson coming through to take it ahead of Oliver Ericsson. So Gunnarsson wins Q3. Not going to lie, that's quite a long old stint. It is very, very hot in here, and I think we're done with our racing action for today. Good job by Gunnarsson from the start, took it by the scruff of the neck. Still fighting his way back from what happened in Barcelona. It's a shame because he would have been in the mix with Kallio and Ericsson.
Yeah, he would have really been there, and those top three guys are all on an extremely similar pace. I mean, it's fair to say that Ollie is maybe slightly a step ahead of the other two. But I mean, given his time in the car and everything else, you would half expect that. But yeah, Gunnarsson, it's a shame that he threw it away early on.
We're going to head down and have a catch up with Neil Cole.
Ben Philip, a great race, but the standout moment was that round the outside in turn one. Talk us through it.
Yeah, what a really good end of this day. I have been struggling a bit with the starting because it's hard to get around on the outside, but now I really had a good start and I just have to give it all.
Yeah, it was great, and it's quick time too.
Yeah, it was. So the car was very good, and I'm just happy now.
Okay, good. Good luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben Philip Gunnarsson, all smiles and looking really relaxed in front of the camera as well. Great to see. Oliver Ericsson won the first 2 sessions today. Ben Philip Gunnarsson took Q3 to stick himself in second place. The points differential you can see on the right pretty much means Ericsson's guaranteed TQ, but nothing is guaranteed in rallycross, especially when you've got a turn 1 and 2 combo like we have here. Sammy Matti Trogan with mixed results is third, Gryers in fourth, Jesse Callio fifth, Fraser McConnell had a bad Q2, a good Q3, pulls himself up to sixth, Vasily Gryers in seventh, Steve Boulders is eighth, who's in and who's out with 1 session to go. We're going to see William Nilsson is in, Mounier, Olofsson and Michalak at the minute, Petter Nasha just outside, Lavera, Lane Vakela and Jan Le Josek. Good old stint today. We really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for sending your questions in. I hope you've enjoyed us answering them. I appreciate we're not fully on the racing when we're doing that, so apologies if we've missed your favourite, but hopefully you get a bit of insight as well. So keep them coming and we'll try to keep answering. Dan, thank you, mate. Great job today.
Thank you.
I think it's nearly time for some dinner and potentially a beer, to be honest.
Just one, of course.
Yeah. But we're going to leave you with Neil Cole.
Yeah, thanks, lads. And one of the beautiful things about any World Rallycross event is what happens when the World cars and the RX2s and the Euros have stopped racing. You get to see cars like this racing each other. I mean, that is a grid full of incredible Group B legends. And that's not it. Follow me. Look. Got a Peugeot. Got a Metro 6R4. And in fact, someone that you mentioned, Andrew Coley, is someone you'd like to come back and race again in an RS200 is Pat Duran over there. So there you go. I'm not sure if it is sold out tomorrow, but this is the kind of thing you can see, as well as the top level rallycross action. If you come here in person, if you can't make it to France in person, thanks for watching it from wherever you are in the world. At the bottom of the screen now should be where you can watch the live stream tomorrow, all the timings. But if you need to find out, just go on the website. But everything is across all of our social media. Hashtag WorldRX. Thanks so much for being with us. We've done something ridiculous like 44 races live for you today. You don't get that anywhere else. Thanks to Andrew and Dan. Thanks to all of the TV team. I'm just going to stay and watch more Rallycross because that's why I'm here. See you tomorrow.